Kuiper just in the Senate again. Republicans again reject an effort to stop the war with Iran. This as President Trump again voices optimism about a potential deal with Iran. But CBS's Cammie McCormick reports the U.S. military is keeping up the pressure in the meantime.
The U.S. Central Command says it's achieved maritime superiority as the blockade of Iranian ports continues. It released this audio of a Navy vessel warning ships.
Do not attempt to breach the blockade. Vessels will be boarded for interdiction and seizure, transiting to or from an Iranian port. Turn around and prepare to be boarded.
The military says no vessels have made it past U.S. naval forces during the first 48 hours of the blockade.
House Democrats file articles of impeachment against Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. The resolution is led by Democratic Congresswoman Yasmin Ansari of Arizona. CBS historian Small reports.
In these articles of impeachment, there are about 6 articles here. It's for unauthorized war use against Iran and reckless endangerment of the United States service members, violations of the law of armed conflict and targeting civilians, negligence and reckless handling of sensitive military information, obstruction of Congress and oversight, abuse of power, politicization of the armed forces.
In Wisconsin, just north of Green Bay, this woman rode out some rough weather and now says,
my brother called, told me we should go buy sandbags, but my husband says don't leave the house in case the sump pump stops. So I don't know what to do.
The threat of damaging winds, large hail, tornadoes, and heavy rainfall are expected again today from Oklahoma up to the Midwest and Northeast. Pope Leo's seeming criticisms of the U.S.-Israeli conflict against Iran, along with President Trump's jabs at the pontiff, have played out as Leo is traveling in Africa. On Capitol Hill, House Speaker Mike Johnson weighs in.
A pontiff or any religious leader can say anything they want, but obviously if you wade into political waters, I think you should expect some political response, and I think the Pope's received some of that.
Meantime, in a speech in front of the pontiff today, Cameroon's president says the world needs the message of peace brought by Pope Leo. CBS's Jim Krasula has the story of yet another alleged fraudster who's now charged with wire fraud.
Talk about a Scrooge. Federal authorities say a New York City charity fundraiser called SantaCon was in fact a con. Investigators allege a man identified as Stefan Pildes pocketed over $1 million of the nearly $3 million raised from 2019 to 2024. The fundraiser flooded New York City with often drunk young people in red and white Santa costumes during the holiday season.
Stocks are mixed on Wall Street. This is CBS News.
Go to the ends of the earth, half a world away. Reach for the stars.
If I take time to think, they might go get Brad.
On CBS, Sunday morning.
A West Seattle homeless encampment cleared this morning. More on that straight ahead. But first, your KIRO News Radio traffic brought to you by your KIRO News Radio app. Not a lot going on. Let's start with that drive through Seattle. South 5 stop and go from 85th to the Ship Canal Bridge. Plan on 25 minutes max from Linwood into downtown Seattle. It's a 20-minute trip through downtown on northbound I-5. 2 backups here. Your first starts before the West Seattle Bridge past I-90, and then your Ship Canal Bridge backup starts just past Mercer. And out towards Poulsbo, I'm seeing brief backups at the Agate Pass Bridge where it looks like we've got road work underway. Text app to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO News Radio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Nate Connors. Dozens of city workers moved in about 8:30 this morning to clear away a homeless encampment at Totem Pole Park in West Seattle. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more.
Neighbors say this encampment that sits next to the West Seattle Golf Course has been the epicenter for crime, violence, and drug abuse that spills into the greater community. Some campers, like Aiden, say they have called this camp home for several weeks now and face an even more uncertain future.
We're just getting our stuff to the sidewalk so that they don't throw it away. And from there, we just kind of sleep wherever we fall asleep, I guess.
Fortunately, the city also has workers here to assist campers if they want help. In West Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle's City Council has approved 2 major pieces of legislation aimed at speeding up the expansion of shelter and wraparound services for homeless people. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more.
Both ordinances passed unanimously after council members heard from social workers, care workers, and Alyssa.
My husband and I were living in a tent.
Alyssa said she had a brain tumor and other needs, and the city's tiny house program and wraparound care helped with much more.
It wasn't cold and it wasn't wet. I had a door that we could lock, and I felt safe in a bed. It was the first time in a long time I felt that.
The ordinances now allow the city to sign leases directly with property owners to expand shelter space and directs $4.8 million towards shelters and wraparound services. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
One of Mayor Wilson's goal is to create 1,000 emergency shelter beds by the end of the year. Kirkland police are offering gift cards for unwanted firearms this weekend. Kirkland residents can exchange up to 10 guns and receive gift cards up to $250 in return. Police say the event Saturday morning at the Kirkland Justice Center is designed to increase safety and reduce the supply of firearms. Well, today is tax day, and the new regional head of the U.S. Small Business Administration says many taxpayers are seeing larger refunds.
Kelly Chambers is the SBA administrator for Region 10, which covers Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and Alaska.
Taxpayers, their refunds are up 11% over last year, and that's real money.
She tells the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red 770 AM because of the Working Families Tax Cuts Act, also known as President Trump's Big Beautiful Bill, the average family is saving about $7,000 to $10,000. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
And now look at your KIRO News Radio weather. Cloudy, isolated afternoon thunderstorms and a high near 50. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and 56, and looks like we're mostly sunny into the weekend with mid-60s on Saturday. Cloudy and a chilly 41 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome to the show. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Jake Skorheim here. Spike O'Neill sitting right there.
What's up, brother?
Spike, we got one heck of a good show.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
A heck of a good show. Tons of stuff to talk about. We're going to talk with Todd Myers from the Washington Policy Center. He has a really interesting article talking about his Washington State, the most embarrassing state in the country. Make some compelling arguments. We're going to talk to him at 2 o'clock. We have many things to discuss. If you guys want to get in on the conversation, you can text us at the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476. You can also watch live. A lot of people don't know this, but we do a live show every single day for 3 hours, not just on the radio, but we have a live YouTube page as well. And you can jump in there, and it's a ton of fun. Go to KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM on YouTube, and the Jake and Spike Show is going to pop up. You can enjoy it. Or better yet, download the KIRO Radio app, and then you can enjoy all those things from the app for free. It's the best thing in the world. So go and get your hands on it.
Sorry, turn my microphone off.
Yeah.
Putting the whole world in the palm of your hands. How much more simple can we make it for you folks?
We can't make it any easier.
You know, and we're not doing that because we think you can't handle difficulty. We know you can, but you're a busy guy. You're a busy lady.
That's true.
You know, you got things to do, and we want to make sure that you can get what you need as easy as possible.
Better. Right? Speaking of making your life better, great news, gang. The streets are getting cleaner because of FIFA coming up. Did you see this news?
I did see this news. I saw the totals.
There is reason to celebrate. Tell me if this is actually, here's my thought on this. So Seattle is getting ready to clean up for FIFA World Cup this summer. They're expecting like 750,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to get it ready, they have this project called the Seattle Clean City and Community Impact, or Seattle Clean City project.
Yeah, the Community Impact Report was released
Community Impact
yesterday.
Report, yeah.
And the totals are in.
Well, so far, they still got some work to do, but they're working on it.
No, it's clean. It's done, right? They're done.
I guess
they're
finished.
done. I looked out the window, didn't see anything.
Listen to what they cleaned up. 5.3 million pounds of waste, gross, from the right-of-way. And this is the part that scared me. And honestly, this is why I don't spend a ton of time walking the streets of downtown Seattle in my bare feet. They also disposed of 661,105 needles. Yeah. That's a lot of needles on the street. But you know what?
Yeah, it is.
Super duper. That's nice. Way to go. Neato, gang.
Neato, gang. Neato. Almost 750,000 needles off the streets. Neato, gang. That's great news for everybody.
It
I'm
is.
very excited.
Yeah, every needle off the streets is a good day, right?
I saw a video the other day, Spike. Did you see this? Or is this stuff just chase me around? I think the algorithms know that I'm very suspicious and cynical of big cities.
Yeah.
I don't like them. I'm a small town guy.
Well, because when it comes across your feed, you give it your eyeballs because you care.
Yeah, I care.
I'm not faulting you for caring, no, any way, shape, or form. But that's how the algorithms work. The longer you stay engaged with, cleanups.
I told my boys the other day, we were driving in the car, I said, boys, thank God every day you get to live in a small town. Because in the big towns, you got to watch out for needles. I'm not saying it doesn't happen in small towns, but it does not happen as much.
Okay.
I saw a video the other day of this guy who decided, I don't know if it's still polar bear plunging in Green Lake because it's not really polar bear weather anymore.
No,
I've never seen a polar bear in Green Lake, but he was.
Those were the days.
He was swimming. Yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
been a long
you
time.
ever polar plunged?
I have once.
Yeah, I've done it a handful of times. It's usually in February, though, right?
It's cold.
Yeah, it's for the cause.
Yeah,
it's not because it's fun.
I did it just to say I did it.
Yeah,
and that was it. And I said, I've done it. It's cold water. I get it. I saw a guy on a video jump into Green Lake. Did you guys see this? He steps into Green Lake.
Did he bounce off?
And he goes, oh, and he steps out. Not joking.
Oh.
He's got a needle sticking out of his foot. That is worst nightmare territory.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
I mean, that's the stuff 3 times worse than duck itch.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Maybe 4. Isn't that awful?
661,000 times worse than duck itch.
That video was floating around. You're totally right. It was floating around, and it was like, hey, just a quick reminder, maybe don't swim in Green Lake.
Maybe wear shoes. Oh.
Isn't that... Just don't swim in it.
Fair enough.
Just don't swim in it. If you had to worry about needles...
so many reasons.
There's a lot of reasons.
Yeah, that's a sad.
Did you find this as a...
I love the story.
I
do. I love it's a comforting story. For a couple.
Why is it comforting to you? This depresses me.
What, that the city was in need of a cleanup?
That the city...
That they had that much?
That it took an international FIFA campaign to get the city to do what they should be doing.
That's why I'm going to push back a little bit because these are numbers from 2025. This is a city that realizes it has a problem.
You don't think this had anything to do with FIFA?
Oh, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. But these numbers are from 2025.
Okay.
Okay. Which means that, of course, they know FIFA's coming, but the city has put systems in place, multiple systems in place, to make sure that the city's garbage problem and needle problem is addressed and is hopefully mitigated to the point that it doesn't get to where it was before, if not eliminated in its entirety. We're talking about
disagree.
We're talking about more garbage and recycling receptacles around the city that are more often monitored. We're talking about pilot programs that are keeping public dumping from happening on a regular basis, and they've eliminated thousands of instances.
We don't want public dumping.
Right, we don't want any of that stuff, and we don't want needles, we don't want garbage, we don't.
I'd much rather have, if I have to choose between the two, I'd much rather have garbage than needles.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
But I do understand, of course, that they clean up because the FIFA World Cup and 750,000 visitors are expected to come to the city. They're trying to make a good impression so that people come and have a good time and come back and visit our city again.
You get somebody who comes down from Vancouver or where they come from, they fly in, they want to see a game, they're walking around, they get a needle in their foot. You get one bad review, you're going to tell 5 people. You get a needle in your foot, you're going to tell 10.
Everybody.
Yes.
That's right.
So they want to try to avoid needles in your feet.
Well, they do, of course.
That should be
we all
Seattle's
should.
slogan.
No needles.
No needles in your feet during World Cup only.
We should have it when those 0 days needle free. Right?
That would be nice.
Wouldn't that be nice if you could put a number up there every day and add a number to it, stack another number, stacking numbers?
Let me tell you why I did not find this to be comforting as you did. Did you say comforting or encouraging?
I felt both. The fact that they recognized there was a problem and started over a year ago to the new mayor.
Sure.
And that fact, this was under the old mayor's tutelage as well, right? Under his guidance, I should say.
2025.
Sure.
Yep. So this had nothing to do with Katie. Here's the thing. They had 661,105 needles on the streets. That's a real problem. You know where the number one?
Horrible problem.
You know Washington is the number 1 state in the country for people with fentanyl overdoses going into the hospital. Number 1.
I didn't know that.
That's a depressing number. I think and that's predominantly in King County. Most of those numbers.
Oh, yeah, it's absolutely mostly in King County.
But you think about this big, wide, beautiful country, and we're number 1 in that category. That's a number that I think kind of scares me.
It should scare you.
And when we're talking about if they had come back and said, "Hey guys, streets are looking good and fresh," we're not telling you like along came Polly, eat peanuts off the ground or anything, but we are saying that you feel free to walk around. Again, we're not saying that you should go and try to ground. You ever see people grounding with their feet? They don't wear shoes.
Oh, they just touch grass movement, that kind of thing.
Yeah, get outside. It does something with your I don't know what it does. Something electrical in your body. All this stuff.
The electrical impulses of the water pass through you on the way to heaven.
Shoes with toes.
Yeah,
gross.
Oh, those toe shoes.
It's not exactly that, but it's kind of that same thing.
Yeah.
If somebody's grounding, they probably also have toe shoes, which makes me uncomfortable. The problem that I have is they got to 661,000 needles. What I would prefer is that they went, hey, guys, guess what? Like, we found one needle. This is not happening. To get to 661,000, even to go at like 30, if they'd come back at 30,000 needles, that still would have been a headline that would have grabbed your attention.
Yeah.
But 661,000 needles.
It's a horrifying number.
How many people live in Seattle?
3 million plus, I think.
3 million plus.
Yeah.
That's a pretty sizable chunk of the population, percentage-wise. If you have 661,000 needles.
I don't feel like I'm doing my share.
Yeah. That's like one needle for every sixth person, right?
Yeah, about that. Depending upon what the actual number is.
Everybody gets a needle
person. Yeah.
in Washington.
Well, some of those folks are using more than one, I think.
I would assume. Yeah, I would assume a lot of these are coming from the same
of course, they're horrible numbers. We all agree with that. Mm-hmm. But I'm encouraged by the fact that they didn't wait till 6 weeks before the cup got here.
Yeah.
The games got here to start. We better clean up mom's on dad's up the street coming down the road.
I guess we should just be happy it's clean at all. That's nice, right?
Because
it wasn't, and now
it was horrible.
For a little bit.
Well, they came out and they wiped a lot of graffiti off they painted over a lot of graffiti in the last few months. Again, preparation for an international visit from guests from around the world.
Anytime there's a big thing from out of town,
sure.
It's anytime somebody comes to my house,
All-Star game
I'm
comes,
in the stairs.
Right? Same
deal.
Yeah, somebody's coming over. You clean up.
How many needles I find on my stairs? 0. That's
why you're out of the city.
Yeah,
see, I live in the city.
I live in the country.
Yeah.
All right, we got to get to this. We had planned on talking about this yesterday. We ran out of time, but we should play this now. Governor Bob Ferguson, he put out this video. I find this very interesting. He keeps putting out these videos still trying to sell the millionaire's tax, the so-called millionaire's tax.
Sure, yeah, he believes. He's a true believer.
Well, if he's a true believer, then why does he feel like he still needs to sell it to the public?
Because
he already rammed it down their throat. He already said it's already law. He doesn't need to do anything else with the public. He said, you don't get a vote on this. It's an emergency.
Well, because he knows there's going to be a referendum at some point, right? They're pushing an initiative to get a referendum on the ballot at some point. He knows it's going to be up to the public to decide this. He knows there's a constitutional question about this law, this bill.
And why didn't he introduce it the right way then?
I wish I could tell you. We made the suggestions.
We know
why.
We know why.
Because he felt it was a dire emergency. He had to push it through without any kind of public input whatsoever because he knows it's unpopular.
Which is
sometimes kids don't want to take their medicine sometimes.
Like all good emergencies, it doesn't start for 2 years. That's why it's such an emergency.
Well, it takes time to get the system in place.
Sure.
You can't go off half-cocked.
Speaking of, you see all the tax people that he's hiring?
They're hiring, the state announced a week ago, I think it is, they're hiring 300 people.
300 new folks.
To help put the systems in place to help administer this new income stream for the state of Washington.
$45 million in salaries for those 300
It's about $150,000 a piece.
$150,000
That's what you got to get. That's what you got to pay. To get a competent person working in these systems.
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
$45 million. We had a story last week that they're shutting down. Was it 14 parks?
It might have been 13, but 14. Yeah, somewhere in there. Parks are closing.
Called the Baker's Dozen.
Baker Dozen of city parks. $8 million.
$8 million they couldn't come up with in the $80 billion budget.
Mm-hmm.
$8 million they could not come up with. But they do have $150 million to hire new people to collect more money. What if they only hired?
It'd be $250. I know where you're going with this. Yeah, and they're going with the math.
What do you think?
Well,
save that $8 million
and keep those parks. Yeah, I don't know.
It's all a preference. It's like where do you want to put what do you care about? For Bob Ferguson, it's not the parks or people being able to enjoy themselves. It's about collecting more money.
Well, see, Bob looks at it. If you can collect this tax revenue, you're going to keep those parks open.
Oh, that's true.
Right?
He says, let's take more of your money.
He's a forward-thinking tyrant.
Let's squeeze something that you used to get before for a lower cost, and then I'm going to charge you more for the same product that you already used to get for something less.
Ain't that the way of the world? Then we'll get together and pick up needles.
What a genius. There's no amount of holes that I can't hire you to dig and fill. Exactly. Let's hear about Bob Ferguson trying to sell this millionaire's tax. How great it's going to make your life.
Despite the chaos of Washington, D.C. and what's going on, we're going to move our state forward. And we're going to start by making that tax system more fair. We're making a historic change to our tax system today, everybody.
Neato, gang!
And as a result, here's what that means. Free meals, free breakfast, free lunch for all of our kids in K through 12, so kids aren't hungry when they're learning. We're going to expand the working families tax credit to nearly 500,000 working families. They'll get a check every year for hundreds of dollars to help them make life more affordable.
Hundreds of dollars a year? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Hundreds?
Hundreds of dollars a year.
Okay.
Baby diapers, you're not paying sales tax on baby diapers anymore. No sales tax on hygiene products. We're making childcare more affordable for thousands of Washingtonians. That's what we're doing.
That's
all
what
across
we're doing.
Washington State.
That's what we're doing. I have a question for Bob Ferguson. What does he think is the blame of the high cost of living in Washington State? Fifth most expensive state to live in the country. How does he think we got there? We're trailing only California, D.C., New Jersey, and Hawaii. And Hawaii is a long ways away.
Sure.
To get anything in Hawaii, you got to ship it by boat.
Yeah, it's a closed system. That's why it's expensive. Sure. Yeah. Why does he think the state's expensive as it is? I mean, I'm sure he understands the cost of housing. I'm sure he understands the cost of utilities. I'm sure he understands the cost of fuel.
Yeah,
is one of the factors. I'm sure he takes some. Hopefully, he takes some ownership and having a hand in why it's the fifth most expensive place to live in the country.
That would be my follow-up question to Mr. Ferguson: is who does he think is to blame for those high costs? Because they've kind of been able to do whatever they want for like 40 years in Washington State. So why is it so expensive? That would be a question I'd be interested in finding out from him. This is interesting. We have a bunch of numbers here on how expensive Washington has gotten just in the last 10 years. This is per capita consumer spending, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, which I am, so I hope it's not too tedious. Let's see here. In 2015, housing and utilities in Washington State, this is per person, was about $7,597. In 2024, it's jumped up 62% to $12,271. Healthcare was $6,700. Now it's almost $10,000. Food was $5,800. Now it's almost $9,000. Transportation was $3,900. Now it's almost $6,000. I mean, everything has gone up. Housing costs.
You can't lay all those costs at the Democratic rule of the state.
Why not?
I mean, because a lot of those factors are out of the control of even local government. Food costs.
Housing is not.
Food costs. I'm not saying all of them are.
No, I'm saying the big ones are. The big ones are housing.
You think that's the purview of how?
If you allowed people to build faster houses without so many regulations to build them, then there would be more supply, and the more supply means less demand, and less demand means less cost.
I would think that of course there's a shortage of affordable housing. We can't argue against that. I'd also put forth though that the rapid expansion of various industries in this state, whether it's tech or medical research or whatever it may be, has also had a huge impact on the rising cost of housing in the city and the state. How so?
Yeah.
When the hundreds of thousands of jobs, and I'm not saying they're bad, when hundreds of thousands of jobs come to town, and they're high-paying jobs, and those people compete for affordable places to live, the cost of those places goes up. Amazon expanding
allow people to build more houses. The answer is not.
There's not enough ground.
Of course there is. I live an hour outside of town. I drive into work every single day, and I moved out there because it was cheaper.
Well, they're building in every direction. We know that. We see it everywhere we go. Every time a tree falls down, 5 houses go up.
Not in King County. They don't build as much in King County. It's incredibly expensive to build in King County, and it's incredibly
there's time. Yeah, but now you're saying that there's plenty of space outside of King County, but then you say they're not building in King County.
Well, I'm talking about Washington. This is a Washington number.
Too.
This is a Washington number.
And these industries come to town and bring high-paying jobs, and I'm saying that's great.
Yeah,
that drives our economy.
Yeah,
but it also drives up the cost of housing.
They're not responsible for housing being expensive, though.
Sure, they are.
Housing is expensive because there's less housing. Because they're not building it.
There's less housing because there's more people seeking it as well. They're both factors.
So do we stop rich people from buying houses?
Didn't say that. And we're not. And I'm not saying we're not trying to build our way out of the problem. We are trying to build our way out of the problem.
I don't think we're trying to build our way out of the problem. It's incredibly tedious to do anything in Washington.
I agree with you there.
Crazy. We talked about this last week. If you want to build a house in Seattle,
it takes
permit process is almost a year. If you want to do the same thing in Bellevue, it's 4 months.
No, I'm with you. Let's get on that and eliminate some. I'm with you.
Like if you want to make housing, if housing costs have grown so much, like the one thing they can control, you don't want to scare rich people away because then your tax base goes away, and then you think you got problems now. Wait until you have no money coming in. So build more houses. Let rich people buy the nice houses. Let poor people buy nice houses too. That would be my suggestion.
Sure. Well, the problem is. When the median price of a house in King County is $1 million,
okay,
poor people can't buy a house in King County.
So
poor
build
people
more
can't
houses
rent.
in King County. Make it easier to build more houses in King County.
There's only so much land. They've rezoned.
I could throw a cat in any direction. I got 2 dead cats at my desk right now. I could throw them in any direction I can find you a spot to build.
Yeah, but I like that you have 2. I don't want to get below 2.
That's true.
Okay, it's nice to have 2.
You like to have a savings.
Nobody saves for a rainy day anymore, buddy.
I don't want to run out of dead cats to swing.
No, just to prove a point.
All right. We got a lot of other stuff to talk about. Let's get to all those other things. When we come back, you're going to want to stick around.
That's about having kids.
Let's talk about having kids.
Let's talk about having kids.
And if you want to have kids, I don't want to have kids with you. But if you want to have kids and you're smoking a lot of weed, you might want to listen to this next segment. This next segment is for you. We'll be right back.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Yeah, folks, we're in one of those last gasp of winter rain moments here in the Great Northwest. So Integrity Roofing and Construction is the company you want to call, your trusted local roofing team. They offer free estimates, and their customer satisfaction speaks for itself. They'll keep your home leak-free and protected from the Northwest weather. Visit integrityrc.com to schedule a roof assessment or a video inspection today. They got years of experience in roofing and restorations, got a complete design team in-house that can take care of any job you need done. It's integrityrc.com. That's the website. The phone number, 206-202-ROOF, and integrityrc.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Hey, John, why don't you tell everybody why you started going to Longevity Medical Clinic?
No, I don't want to do that. I can tell you, I started going to Longevity Medical Clinic before I started doing these commercials, but that why I went is not important.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Okay. I'll tell you. I was a Sammamish City Council member, and whenever they had asked me to do the Pledge of Allegiance, I couldn't make it through the whole thing without crying. I know, it's so dumb. I mean, I know I'm patriotic, but what the heck? So I go into Longevity Medical Clinic, and I explained this to them, that there's something wrong with my hormones or something, and they see the testosterone and the estrogen are all out of balance. We balance all that stuff, and I can do the Pledge of Allegiance without crying. But I've also noticed that I deal with stress a lot better, don't I?
Yes, you're a lot easier to live with because you're getting more sleep, you have more energy, you're better organized, and I'm not helping you look for your car keys every morning.
Right, because now I've taken the steps to take care of my mind and body. I strongly recommend anybody get the free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco-bill, and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
My name is Skip, and Congresswoman Marilyn Strickland helped me with my small business administration loan. With her help, I was able to keep my small business open, and she can help you too. Please contact Congresswoman Marilyn Strickland's office at 360-459-8514 or visit strickland.house.gov for help. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
D.R. Horton's National Red Tag Sales Event is going on right now through May 3rd. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. A former Pierce County Sheriff's Office major is behind bars this morning after changing his plea to guilty. After a DUI crash that hurt an 8-year-old boy, his mother, and grandmother, KIRO 7's Lindsay Sheldon reports Chadwick Dickerson was off duty when he crashed into an SUV last July. He was allowed to leave the scene and refused a field sobriety test.
Right now, Pierce County Sheriff Keith Swank is promising change. An internal investigation revealed missteps by deputies when they responded to this crash. Those deputies either turned off or didn't activate their body cameras, violating Pierce County Sheriff policies.
In addition to 3 months in jail, Dickerson will also serve 12 months of community service. Seattle voters will decide on a nearly $480 million library levy this August. The city council voted yesterday to put the 7-year measure on the ballot. It would replace the current library levy that expires at the end of this year. Mayor Katie Wilson originally proposed a $410 million proposal, but the council added nearly $70 million for more books, programming, and building maintenance. According to the Seattle Times, for the owner of a median-priced Seattle home, it would cost about $163 a year. Pro wrestler Darby Allin is back in his old stomping grounds for the biggest match of his career. Here's KIRO News Radio's Amanda Factor.
Just minutes away from where his career started.
My wrestling school was in Everett, Washington. And the event tonight, Everett, Washington.
Darby Allin tells Seattle's Morning News when he first walked into the Buddy Wayne Academy, he was either going to make it as Darby or fail as Darby.
I'm fighting for the world championship as myself. I hadn't changed a single thing.
He's come a long way since attending Tahoma High, battling through injuries, homelessness, becoming the first pro wrestler to summit Mount Everest.
I put everything into this.
Now he takes on the champion, MJF. Amanda Factor, KIRO News Radio.
AEW Dynamite goes live at 5 o'clock tonight from Angel of the Winds Arena on TBS and HBO Max. If you take the Bainbridge Island Ferry, additional closures on the Hood Canal Bridge could get in your way. The next 2 weeks, WashDOT has scheduled maintenance work at 10:30 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. Today, however, that 1:30 closure is taking place right now ahead of schedule. In addition to marine traffic closures, the work closures can take anywhere between 15 minutes to 1 hour. Quick check on Wall Street. The Dow down 70, the S&P 500 up 50, and your NASDAQ up 323. And now your KIRO News Radio traffic. Hey, good news up in Bellingham. All northbound lanes of I-5 just reopened at South Samish Way after a landslide closed it on March 19th. Here in Seattle, South 5, we're crowded through the U District starting near 80th. North 5, your backup starts before the West Seattle Bridge past I-90. That's a pretty thick backup. And then the Ship Canal Bridge starts just past Mercer, close to 25 minutes to get through downtown. South 405 slows a bit from Cold Creek Parkway to the Renton Landing. North 405, you're slow from the Maple Valley up to Northeast 44th near the VMAC. And out toward Paulsbo, we've got about 1.5 miles backups in each direction approaching the Agate Pass Bridge due to road work. And now check on your KIRO News Radio weather. Cloudy with isolated thunderstorms this afternoon. 50 for the high, mid-50s tomorrow, and back to sunshine. Cloudy and 46 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. Man, we got a lot to talk about. This was really interesting. We got a segment right now about children, how expensive it is to raise kids, or not expensive. It depends on what number you see. I've heard different figures from different places. According to the ladies on The View, it's $400,000 a year, which we know is not true.
A year?
Do you remember that? We played that clip last week?
Yeah.
Was it sunny something?
Yeah.
Not a very sunny outlook on what it costs to raise kids.
Well, when you live in Manhattan and you want to send your kid to the greatest school ever conceived.
That's true. In
the
her
face
world,
of the earth.
it might be $400,000 a year. Okay.
You got designers come over making your baby clothes that they outgrow a week later. Just have to have the designer come back and make you fresher baby clothes.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think the actual number, according to this story from Fox News, is that between the ages of infant to 18, it on average cost about how much to raise your kid for 18
16
years?
plus, right? So it was a year?
Well, here it is. Let me play this audio.
It's expensive to raise a child.
How expensive,
It's
Ainsley?
gone up 30%, actually, nearly 30% over the past 3 years.
That's a lot.
It costs more than $300,000 to raise a child in the United States nowadays.
So apparently it's
$300,000 for
18 years.
For 18 years.
They're saying $16,857 a year, according to the Fox numbers.
What do you think of that? Does that number sound about right? That sounds a lot closer than the $400,000 that Sonny was saying.
Well, that's an average. So they're going to have people. Every situation is different. Every community is different. Every parental priority is different. You know,
Your kids are different. I spend more on some kids than others.
And there's also
they're greedy.
You know, plus multiple kids don't mean like if you have 2-3 kids, it's not 2-3 times the 16-8. There's some costs that overlap. Your housing costs don't increase with a second kid, right?
I'll tell you what.
You
have 4 boys. I see that same shirt go through 4 kids.
Exactly right. That's how it's supposed to work. That's what's supposed to happen. You know, you get a 1 soccer ball. You know, the cost of having kids eases as you increase the number of kids in a household.
Yeah.
So I bet that number is pretty accurate for most folks.
That seems pretty believable to me.
It's easier to and more. It's cheaper to raise a kid in Oklahoma than it is in Washington State.
True. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Washington, it's
I bet
expensive
that
than
number
almost anywhere else in the country.
We should look into this. I bet that number's 23 in Washington.
It might be.
You know?
Yeah, it might be. I mean,
we're not talking about
cost for everything are more.
Exactly.
So that makes sense. If it's the fifth most expensive state in the nation, trailing only those ones we talked about
we
earlier.
might be double that number. We might be up to 30.
That sounds like a lot to me. 30 per kid. That sounds like a lot.
It does.
And there's ways to save.
Yeah. Don't live on the plateau.
Yeah.
You know, don't live in a McMansion.
In our family, we do a thing where we sit down at the table. Last night, for instance, I made this really beautiful flank steak. It was so good. I cooked it perfectly. Loved it.
Beautiful.
It's the best steak I've ever made.
Wow.
But I got all these kids, right? They're all these hungry boys. They all want to shove steak in their mouth. Now, I'm not a rich man, so I can't do that. So what we do is we put a dice in the middle of the table, and we say whoever draws the highest number doesn't eat tonight. And then the rest of us eat, and they have to watch. And it's a lesson. I'm just kidding. We don't do that. That would be a
real pop them out of trouble situation. You got to press the ball.
You know, we throw a steak into the octagon.
Fight it out.
You know, right?
Yeah, because we're trying to breed healthy competition
right,
with these
little
monsters.
Yes.
Listen, Snaps pool cue. We're going to have tryouts.
You want to eat. You got to have a strong fist.
Vigorous expansion.
Yes.
You know, it's we make jokes, but there was a time in our lives. We come from very modest means. My family, right? My brother and I, we were the oldest of 4, and whoever finished first got seconds.
Sure.
And there often wasn't enough for seconds for everybody.
And
those are realities.
My kids are learning that. You sit down at the table. Like it's also a time management thing. We just don't have time to keep making them all the food that they want to eat throughout the night. It's exhausting. They eat literally all the time. They will wake up from going to bed and they'll say, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
And then you send them in the fridge and get a muffin or something. But if you eat fast at dinner, you are learning that you're going to get more of seconds of whatever you really loved.
Right.
As long as you clear your plate.
Yeah, of course.
You got to clear your plate. You can't just skip the stuff you don't like.
No,
I had a fight last night
no.
with one of my kids. Didn't want to eat veggies. I said, well, tough luck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You just want all steak?
You don't want to eat anything else.
Yeah, that doesn't happen, buddy. This isn't the Golden Corral.
Yeah, we're not the Clampetts here, bud. This is, here's another story related to kids. I thought this one was kind of interesting. They are saying now that if you are I think this is going to apply to a lot of people. And we've been talking about all these stories about birth rates are down.
Yeah.
People are not, the child replacement rate in America is fairly low. In Washington, it's, probably about national average, I would guess. But the replacement rate is not what it used to be. People are not having as many kids. And so why is that happening? A lot of people are doing it out of financial necessity. They're saying, hey, we want to get our careers on track.
Yeah, well, people are launching later.
Sure.
I don't know if we have time for that clip from the guy from Fox News, Dr. Siegel, right?
Dr. Siegel.
Dr. Mark Siegel says he knows the reason.
I haven't heard this yet, but you found this?
Yeah, I saw this and it was kind of jaw-dropping for me.
All right, let's hear it.
We still have 3.6 million births a year, but the problem is teens and young adults. From ages 15 to 19, the fertility rate is down 7%, and it's down 70% over the last 2 decades, meaning we're telling people that are young not to have babies, to wait till they're in a more stable life situation, till they're more financially secure. Maybe they haven't found the right partner. We also have the technology to say, okay, wait, you're still going to have a healthy child. You're still going to be fine because we can support pregnancies much better than we ever have before.
Okay. I think his mistake is he used the word problem early on when he was explaining.
The problem is that 15-year-olds aren't having babies as much as they used to.
Yeah.
I thought that was good news.
I don't think he's saying it like it's bad news.
Okay.
I think what he's saying is, I think he said problem, but I don't think he's meaning problem.
The problem is that we don't have enough pregnant teenagers in this country.
Yeah.
I think that's clearly
what
not
you need
the problem.
Is a lot of 16 and pregnant. What's that show? What was it?
16 and pregnant.
Is that the MTV show?
MTV found other ways to entertain us, so they didn't have to get 16-year-olds pregnant as often. Thanks, MTV. You're the best.
You know what was interesting about that show, though? Did you know that the national teen pregnancy numbers went down when that show became very
Sure, because
popular?
they showed train wrecks.
Because they went, wow,
yeah.
There's a real repercussion to having kids before you're ready.
Well, I mean,
don't do it.
You talked about why families there are less children than there used to be. There is a decline in birth rates in this country. And it's people are starting their lives later.
Sure.
People are getting married later than ever.
Mm-hmm.
The affordability of a house, we talked about last break, that's a factor for when people decide to have kids.
For sure.
They make the commitment to have a career. They want to make sure they have something to offer, being a part of a family unit.
Yeah.
And that there are bonuses to all those, or upsides to all those.
Everything's a trade-off.
It is.
Yeah, everything's a compromise.
There's nothing wrong. I mean, you've said this so many times and you say it so well. If you wait till you're ready to become a parent, you're never going to be a parent.
It's idiocracy.
Right, exactly. You rise to the moment, most often.
Yeah.
Oftentimes people don't, and I get it, and that can be a tragic result or an unfortunate result.
Yeah.
But, people will do what's necessary. They will meet the moment.
The highest earners in the country are married people with kids. Because you have strong motivation.
The happiest people are married people without kids. Have you heard that?
Well,
that equation?
I think you're joking about that.
I am joking about that. I am joking about that. But most people I see with boats don't have a lot of kids hanging on them. I'm just saying.
That's true. But they're probably grandparents. They're probably going to pick up their kids.
Well, I can't wait.
But the weed thing that we teased, that we got to tell you real fast. Well, there's new research that says that basically if you are a daily, or even like if you are a couple of times a week regular user of marijuana products, you're actually really hurting your chances, according to this study from Duke.
Yeah.
It's saying that you're hurting your chances to have a viable pregnancy. They say for the first couple of days, basically when the egg and sperm meet up and they become one, for the first couple of days, they're operating on behalf of the mom's DNA. And then on day 3, the father's DNA helps as it moves forward. And what they're saying is for people with heavy drug usage, they end up finding out that they have such lazy sperm that the embryos no longer are viable after day 3.
Right. It's a flush. That's horrible. That was a horrible analogy. Apology.
No, but it's no longer something that's going to continue.
Yeah.
And they're saying that the best way to stop this from happening is if you are a heavy user, they're saying 6 months before you start trying to have a baby, you got to get clean. You got to stop using it.
If you want to be a parent, you have to start a family.
Yeah.
You prioritize.
It's also good training for parenting.
It is.
Because you know what? You can't do that stuff when you got kids.
You can't.
You got to be there. You got to be present. You got to be able to drive them to the ER anytime.
Parenting is thinking about someone beyond yourself.
Yes.
And people who are regular, if not chronic pot users, often don't do that. I don't mean a stereotype, but they don't often do that.
No, I mean, like, you got to be, like I was saying, you never know what a kid's going to do.
Right.
And you got to be
ready.
You got to be ready.
Yeah.
All right, we got a lot more coming up. Oh my gosh, this story's crazy. If you guys haven't seen this yet or heard this, there was a school shooting that was avoided, that was stopped by a heroic principal who put his own life on the line and probably played football at one point in his life because he just tackles this guy. It's unbelievable. We'll tell you about it next. Stick around.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan. Presented by Carter Subaru.
Sound Transit is bleeding cash. $34 billion in the hole to try to expand light rail. You know what might fix that? Maybe making people pay for the service. Sound Transit's looking at turnstiles. What do you think? We'll talk about it on Seattle's Morning News coming up Thursday morning.
Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO Newsradio app.
For a limited time, upgrade your home's comfort and cut energy costs with Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Get 20% off energy-efficient windows and doors, plus $1,000 off whole home projects. New windows help keep your home warmer in the winter, cooler in the summer, and your energy bills lower year-round. Plus, enjoy 18 months, no payments, no interest, only through April 15th. Hurry, schedule your free estimate before April 15th. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com. Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust.
Many people spend 30 or 40 years preparing for retirement, savings, investing, watching the markets, but very little time preparing on how retirement actually works once the paychecks stop. That's why Madrona Financial and CPAs is hosting a live webinar based on the book 7 Steps to a Successful Retirement, written by Brian Evans, CEO of Madrona Financial. In this webinar, their advisory team will discuss income strategies intended to support retirement spending needs, strategies to reduce unnecessary taxes, and how to align your investments with long-term goals so your money supports the life you truly want to live. Because retirement isn't a single decision. It's a coordinated strategy. To register or learn more, visit MadronaFinancial.com or call 833-673-7373. And be sure to catch Growing Your Wealth, Saturdays at 9 a.m.
This is a paid advertisement. Investments involve risk. See full disclosures at MadronaFinancial.com.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with 0 investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Are you in pain? Have you considered surgery or even joint replacement? Hi, everybody. It's John Curley. Before you make that decision, I recommend you see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. I did, and it's been a game changer. My doctor took a look at my x-rays and said, well, looks like you need a whole new hip. And then he said, wait, how old are you? And I told him, and then he said, well, wait, you're too young for a hip. You're just going to have to, live with the pain. We'll see in 3 years. It was horrible. Dr. Wagner is a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience performing more than 20,000 stem cell procedures, using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. People with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, are back doing what they enjoy doing without pain and without surgery. So whether it's a hip like I had, or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
How does your roof look after this winter? Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Spring into action today. Save $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. This truly is very heroic what this guy did. This is in Oklahoma. This is at Pauls Valley High School. You see this video, Spike?
Oh,
you
yeah.
See this in-school CCTV footage that they have from one of the security cameras. You see in the video, we don't have any audio of this, but you see because it's silent. Their
surveillance
footage,
camera. Yeah.
Surveillance camera. But in the footage, you see this man, you don't know how old he is, but he's 20 years old. Investigators say his name is Victor Lee Hawkins. He is a former student at this school, and he walks in holding 2 semi-automatic handguns that apparently he got from his dad. That's what the the affidavit says, that he got them from his dad. His dad did not give them to him. He just took them off of his dad's collection.
Exactly.
Yeah. So he goes into the school. He is intending to, according to the affidavit, he's intending to try to repeat what he saw in the Columbine shooting back in 1999, which I was just thinking about as I was reading the story. That's one of those things that I have almost blocked out of my head. I was like a freshman in high school when that happened.
When Columbine hit?
Okay. And that was so earth-shattering of a massive story and so horrible. And I remember seeing the images of that almost like it's, it is another time now, but I should remember it more than I do. And I think I've blacked a lot of that out because that scared the heck out of me. I was 14 years old in high school for the first time in this big giant school. And that was really the first time that, correct me if I'm wrong, but that wasn't a thing before Columbine.
No, Columbine really did.
That was a special new kind of evil that then was thrust
which
upon.
has become far too commonplace in our society, in America. And I was a parent of an elementary school student when Columbine.
It's a whole different scary for parents.
It's for everybody.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have anybody in school, or you're not a parent, or you're not a student, it's still a horrific, far too common turn of events. What you don't see is what we saw in Pauls Valley, Oklahoma, which is the shooter, a former student, steps into the lobby of the high school, right? The main entrance to the high school. There's the trophy case. There's the crest on the. It is
high school main area.
And the shooter, 20-year-old shooter, comes in, and within seconds, 3 to 5 seconds.
Yeah.
The principal of the school, Kirk Moore, 35-year educator, just steps in action.
Just a flash from the corner of the screen. He runs across, tackles this guy
through.
Not before
the shooter. Yeah.
Not before he had gotten off a couple of shots. He attempted to shoot at a couple of students. The gun jams, so he tries to fix the gun. Thank God the gun malfunctions. Those students who he was aiming at are pleading for their lives, and he basically, they leave. They're able to get out of there.
Yeah.
He then is able to get the gun back up, and this principal runs across, tackles this guy like a
bodies
linebacker.
This kid.
Yeah, completely knocks him down, and takes a shot to the leg while he's doing it. The kid got a shot. The 20-year-old guy, former student, got a shot off, but thankfully, he's not able to hurt anyone else. And the principal is basically saying, "Thank you for this outpouring of support. It's unbelievable."
Principal pins the shooter to a bench that's built into the wall.
It's like a movie. You seen that movie? No, we were talking about this yesterday off the air, but Nobody. Remember the movie Nobody with Bob Odenkirk?
Bob Odenkirk, yeah.
it looks like that. He tackles the guy. He's slamming his hand, so the guy has to drop the gun, just like a movie.
Another teacher was able to come over and assist the principal in holding down this shooter.
Kicks the gun away and then goes and picks it up and takes it out of there. And when I was watching the video, I didn't know that principal had been shot in the leg. But, I mean, that's just all adrenaline.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't act like it. He acted like he had mastered the moment.
Even with a serious injury like that, he's not letting this guy...
He had to be airlifted to a hospital after the shoot,
Oh, my gosh. Thank God that he was there. And
here.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, very cool that he stopped what would have been just a horrible, horrible story. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. Let's chat about it when we come back. We're going to talk about grocery stores. We're going to talk about this one that was going to go into Seattle, but
a lower price grocer is trying to get established in North Seattle, and it's taking more time if it happens at all.
Looking less likely. We'll be right back.
Congratulations to KIRO News Radio's Charlie Harger and digital content producer Patrick Janasek, nominated for a Northwest Emmy Award for investigative reporting.
It began with a question from the community. It seemed almost too stunning to be true.
KIRO News Radio is honored to be the only radio station nominated for the prestigious Emmy Award as part of our commitment to impactful storytelling across every platform, reaching into the communities we serve on KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. April showers bring May clogged and overflowing gutters, unfortunately. However, my friends at Valentine Roofing, they've got you covered. Right now, you can bundle and save 10% off your entire job when you add new gutters to any new roofing project. Plus, with flexible financing available and payments as low as $159 a month, Valentine makes it easy. So schedule your free roofing and gutter estimate today to bundle and save 10%. Call 206 Roofing. That's 206 Roofing.
Golden Crest Metals helps investors understand how physical gold and silver can be held inside qualified retirement accounts without pressure or confusion. Our team brings decades of experience in precious metals and retirement planning with a focus on clear education, straightforward pricing, and a process designed to put clients first. Why do investors choose Golden Crest Metals? Experience, transparency, and a client-first approach. Tune into The Gold Show with Kenny Michaels every Saturday at 1 p.m.
Nick, you know what my dad always used to say?
Oh, which thing? Let me guess. If you put anything on a hot dog besides mustard, it's un-American?
Okay, that's true. Okay, but no, about the word worry. Remember he used to say about the word worry?
Yes, that it's not a verb, but it actually is.
I know it's a verb, but Nick, his point was nothing comes from worrying. You can sit here and worry about all the news and all about the chaos in the world. You worry about your health, but nothing comes of it. You have to take action.
Right.
Like, for instance, you and I, we go into Longevity Medical Clinic. That's an action. It's about taking that action. Like, people can go to Longevity Medical Clinic, take the free health analysis, and then they can find out how they're aging and the things they can do in order to slow down the process to have a big, full, rich life so you can enjoy a hot dog with whatever you want on it.
And now worry is a verb.
See, there you go. So it all starts with you taking action. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
How was your break? It was great until I stopped for gas. Prices have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive. That's exactly why I use Upside. I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app. Upside? Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive. Does that actually add up to anything? Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app. Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code STATION for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code STATION for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up. That's STATION.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by DEA Take Back Day.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. A jury in New York has found that concert giant Live Nation and its Ticketmaster subsidiary engaged in an anti-competitive monopoly. The latest from CBS's Jake Rosen.
The decision came less than a week after Live Nation's antitrust trial kicked off in a New York courtroom. Not all the states, however, involved in the suit agreed to strike that deal between the Justice Department and Live Nation, and New York Attorney General Letitia James criticized the settlement and vowed to keep litigating, saying that in a statement that the agreement, quote, failed to address the monopoly at the center of the case. More than 24 states moved forward with the lawsuit, resulting in the verdict on Wednesday.
President Trump says the Iran war is close to over, but the status of the ceasefire remains in question. CBS's Linda Kenyon with more.
The current ceasefire is scheduled to end on April 22nd. As for reports it will be extended,
that is not true.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt also says official high-level in-person talks have not yet been scheduled.
Nothing is official until you hear it from us here at the White House.
Adding if there are in-person talks, they will likely continue in Islamabad with Pakistan mediating.
The president feels it's important to continue to streamline this communication through the Pakistanis.
Pakistan's army chief is presently in Tehran in the latest effort to ease the tensions between the U.S. and Iran. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
More extreme weather has hammered the Midwest, including multiple tornadoes. And as CBS's Asha Qureshi reports from Sussex, Wisconsin.
The big concern now is what's next. Forecasters warn another round of severe weather could develop later today with the same threats. Damaging winds, large hail, and the possibility of more tornadoes. Now, people here are preparing. They're clearing their yards. They're charging devices and making sure they have a safe place to go if warnings are issued.
A super typhoon has hit U.S. islands in the Pacific Ocean. Cars have been flipped over and tin roofs have been ripped away from the remote northern Mariana Islands. There have been no reports of deaths. Authorities in the U.S. territory are just beginning to assess the damage left behind by Super Typhoon Sinlaku. The storm also battered the U.S. territory of Guam with tropical force winds and heavy rain. At least 9 people are killed in a middle school shooting in southern Turkey. A teacher and 8 students died in the attack. It is the second school attack in Turkey this week. The BBC's Orla Guerin has more from Istanbul.
Officials say the attacker entered 2 classrooms where the students were as young as 10 and started shooting at random.
13 people are being treated in the hospital. U.S. stocks hit an all-time high and roar back from losses caused by the Iran war as the S&P 500 continues.
Help keep our community safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, April 25th. Find a collection site near you at deatakeback.com.
Good news and bad news regarding your power bill. More on that coming up. But first, your KIRO News Radio traffic brought to you by your Seattle Mariners. Good news up in Bellingham. All northbound lanes of I-5 have reopened at South Samish Way after about a month-long closure due to a mudslide, and it reopened a little ahead of schedule. We've got big backups approaching the Hood Canal Bridge this afternoon from both directions due to a recent bridge closure. It is now open to vehicles once again. Here in Seattle, South 5, you're looking good. Just some minor crowding near Mercer past the convention center. North 5, we are bumper to bumper before the West Seattle Bridge past I-90. And again, the Ship Canal Bridge backup starts closer to 520 now. 25 minutes to get through all this. Both directions of 405, you're crowded through Renton and Newcastle. And out toward Holsbo, road work at the Aggie Pass Bridge just wrapped up, and we no longer have any backups. Randy Johnson, a number retirement ceremony night presented by T-Mobile is Saturday, May 2nd. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Well, good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. When it comes to your power bill, the good news is that you're paying less than the national average. The bad news is that your rates are likely going up next year. New analysis from Axios shows that the monthly average bill is $125 per month in King County and just $116 in Snohomish County. The national average is $158. But prices are poised to rise across the board locally, with Seattle City Light and Puget Sound Energy planning rate hikes. Utilities say clean energy investments and higher wholesale power costs are to blame. Today is tax day, and there's some good news for many filers.
We're seeing an average of $7,000 to $10,000 that a family would save through the working family tax cuts.
Small Business Administration Regional Administrator Kelly Chambers tells the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red 770 refunds are up about 11% this year, thanks to President Trump's big, beautiful bill. If you plan to travel by ferry this summer, the reservation system opened Tuesday morning. KIRO 7 TV's Ranji Sinha reports you will pay more.
This year, a 3% fee kicked in that applies to all card transactions. The Washington State Legislature approved the fees that covers the cost the state racks up when processing cards online and at terminals. That 3% increase started on March 1st.
Reserving your spot is free. The ticket purchase is separate. Reservations cover sailings from Anacortes to San Juan Islands and Port Townsend-Coupeville routes. New data from the American Lung Association shows air quality problems across Washington. King County failed both ozone and smoke pollution measures, the only county in the state to do so, according to SeattleRed.com. Pierce County had clean ozone air, but still failed on smoke. Your KIRO News Radio weather, we have a mix of sunshine and isolated thunderstorms this afternoon. 50 for our high, mostly sunny Thursday and 56. By Saturday, we're pushing the mid-60s. Partly sunny and 44 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 1 hour down, 2 hours to go. Let's just jump right into it. Spike, let's talk about grocery stores.
Sure.
Everybody loves them. Can't get enough of grocery stores. How many times a week you go into a grocery store?
4 at least.
Do you?
Yeah. I tend to call myself a very European shopper, in that I will shop
Day of.
Yeah, I like fresh items. I try not to shop in the middle aisles of the store if I can avoid it.
That's where they say to avoid.
Right, the periphery.
You get a donut shop. You can stay on the outside.
Exactly. Meats, veggies, boom.
Yeah.
They do put donuts on the periphery, by the way, too.
They do. I know they do,
that's-
because they're trying to trick you into buying them.
That just gives me the strength
But
to
they are
finish
fresh.
the loop. They are.
Usually they're fresh every day.
Yeah.
But you can get a good deal on the old ones. My dad goes into Fred Meyer, I think, every day. He's a European shopper as well. Every time I'm in Fred Meyer, I see him there.
Really?
Yes.
He's not greeting people, is he?
No, he's not.
Oh, okay,
no,
I'm
he's
just checking.
He's literally just shopping. Like,
gotcha.
He says, he says, all your heart's desires, you can get it at Fred Meyer's. I don't know if that's a slogan, but in my family, that was what we used to say.
No, it's true. And they've kind of revamped the surviving Fred Meyer's in our neck of the city there, our area. They've undergone major renovative changes. They've eliminated some of the lesser cost-effective departments.
Sure.
But they still got everything from napkins to bedspreads to tools to toys to meats and veggies.
Toilet paper down to your shoes.
You sure can.
At a Fred Meyer. Yeah. This is not a Fred Meyer ad. This is
not.
just,
Well, you can tell from this next statement, it's never adequately staffed. I feel for your dad. I tell you what.
The Fred Meyer's?
Yeah. The one I'm at.
I'm shopping at the one in Snohomish.
And you never have a problem?
On Bickford?
Always plenty of cashiers open?
Sweetest people in the world.
Yeah. For me, it's always 2 people monitoring 12 self-checkout stands.
You know
and
what?
then 2 of the 8 lanes are open.
That is a pain.
It's a pain.
That is a pain. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like the, but that makes sense. I mean, you can.
And it boggles my mind that
check out themselves.
The Fred Meyer at literally less than a mile from the QFC. Same chain, right? Same Kroger chain. The prices at the Fred Meyer at the top of the hill are 20% less on average than a mile down the street.
Than the QFC?
And that the same grocery chain.
QFC is a little more expensive, isn't it?
It is.
When I go into a QFC, I think to myself, it's a little more expensive.
It is. I see it on average. You can find various loss leader items throughout the course of the store.
Sure.
But we're getting away from the topic here because there's a retailer that is Winco.
Yeah.
And there's one of those just north of the city in the Edmonds area, right on Aurora.
Have you ever shopped at a Winco?
I have gone into a Winco.
Unbelievable prices.
Unbelievable prices, but it is kind of like the end of days grocer.
They do
a nice job.
You don't go on vacation at a Winco. You don't go retire there. But if you want to get cheap groceries,
it's walls and walls and walls.
Do you have to bag your own stuff?
You do have to bag your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're willing to do that, there are ways that you can save money there.
And the city was trying to bring one of these lower cost grocery stores. We had the big conversation just about Mamdani trying to use state money, city money in New York to help subsidize a grocer for the convenience of his residents. We'll get into more about that in a little bit here today.
Yeah, you and I had quite a discussion about that yesterday.
And we're going to get into it again today because we both have supporting arguments to our side of the issue.
Oh, you do?
Sure, of course I do.
I'm excited.
I saw you put it on the schedule, buddy. That's great. I'm not walking into a gunfight with a ballpoint pen. That ain't happening.
Wonderful.
But with the Winco that was scheduled to move into the former Sam's Club space, which is just inside the city limits.
There was
Aurora.
an empty building,
and
then a parking lot that they wanted to reconfigure and to move in.
Sam's Club is like a Costco type big box store.
Yeah,
that's owned by the Walton family of Walmart fame.
It's like a Costco for
Waltons.
Yeah,
for the Waltons. And it's been sitting empty up there for got to be 5+ years.
Membership,
at least. Membership
situation.
Right. Exactly. Cheap gas, cheap goods, blah, blah, blah.
So it's not being used. And so Winco wants us, they go, hey, that's a good spot for us. We can move in there.
It's a waste of space because I think currently there's a car dealership, one of maybe a couple, that are renting that parking lot, empty parking lot to store some of their new vehicles.
So initially the city, Winco files with the city an intention to want to take over that space. The city determines that there's not going to be any significant environmental impacts by them moving in there because again, was already being used as a
retail space. High end, high
so
volume.
Now Winco wants to come in and get in there, and this is what Winco does. By the way, they come into some other lower end places also do this. Like Grocery Outlet is a place that has much better prices. I think a lot of that might be self-bagging. I don't know exactly where the savings comes from.
The savings come from Grocery Outlet. It gets it at the last possible moment of freshness and acceptability.
So, but they will come into a vacant property and they'll come in afterwards and be like, hey, we can make it work because we do.
Think of Spirit Halloween for food.
There you go.
Kind of. Right.
So, I don't know if they would love that, but okay.
It can be scary, but you feel good.
So Winco talks to the city. The city says, yeah, this doesn't seem to be like there's going to be any problem. And
they're going to take out a wall or two, put up a wall or two, nothing major.
Yes.
Right? And they do an environmental impact on the community.
Not going to be any environmental impact, according to the city.
Not a big change, they say.
Or the State Environmental Policy Act, they followed, and they said, hey, you should be good to go. And then you have this coalition of people called the Lake Washington Working Families who appealed this decision. And they basically said, like, this disrupts our community, having a Winco come into here. And they're citing there's environmental reasons why they shouldn't be able to do this. And so now the city has had to say, like, hey, you know what? Let's look at this again, which means it changes Winco's timeline for coming in there. And now the whole thing is mired up in whether or not it's going to be harmful to the local community. And now Winco's like, listen, it might be too difficult for us to even.
Yeah, I don't know how many hoops you want us to jump through to try to put a low-cost grocer in your community.
We were talking regulations earlier about like building houses. Yeah. Regulation kills these things, and this is another one of those. The problem with this one is, even Seattle Times was digging into who are the Lake Washington Working Families Coalition.
The folks who brought a challenge, and got it accepted
because the coalition doesn't have a website, apparently, according to the story. They don't have a location in Washington. The city unless I read this wrong, they're being spoken for through an attorney out of Portland. So we don't even know if these are locals. The attorney basically says like, well, I'm representing local people, and that's who's voicing their concerns. What do you think about this?
Here's the thing. The challenge they brought forth was, first off, it was reviewed and said it wouldn't be that much of an environmental change to open up a Winco. And they based that on what the Sam's Club that was prior resident there or prior occupant there, what that brought to the community in the way of environmental impact and congestion and traffic flow and all these things.
Sure.
Comparing to what was there before it closed down to what's going to be there if Winco opens up.
Yeah. I would imagine it'd be similar types of
exactly.
traffic.
But this group, this Lake Washington residents who don't live here association, they said, no, you have to compare it to the empty building that's been sitting there for the better part of 5 years.
I've ever heard.
But that was the argument they made, and that was the argument that the judge accepted. That's the new roadblock coming in front of Winco.
You have to be the same environmental impact as an empty building? That's impossible.
Well, they say they're not asking him to match that environmental impact. But when they say no major changes, they're comparing an open Sam's Club to an open Winco, as opposed to comparing what will be an open Winco's impact to something that's been sat dormant for the better part of 5+ years. That's like saying, that's like cutting down trees.
So they have gotten used to
no
not
traffic
having
coming
traffic,
in,
and now
no
they're saying,
garbage picked up.
Now they're saying we don't want
no sewer water runoffs. Yeah,
I don't understand how they think a city works. Do they not want to have options to go buy food, like reasonably priced food? Do they not want these things?
You know where I am. You know what aisle I'm on in this.
So you would say yes, Winco.
I'd say absolutely Winco. It's a lower cost grocery option for a community that just lost. This is right across the street from the Amazon Fresh that just closed.
Sure.
Which offered really good prices, and you didn't have to be a member to take part at Amazon Fresh.
Yeah.
You could
Was
just
that
come
one
in
of those ones where you could just walk in and they just charge you without having to even check out?
There were checkouts.
Oh, okay.
But it all went through your Amazon account. You had an Amazon account established. You could get in, and they had great prices, very competitive prices, compared to the other grocers. So we're going to have this conversation again. We had it yesterday. They all operate on thin margins. So when you get a low cost option, willing to come into your community, I'm sure there should be, if there's not, an advocacy group for this Winco project coming on board, saying, hey, and my real question is this. In the environmental impact, the community impact, this is a store that's on Aurora Avenue, and no disparity, but it's an industrial stretch of roadways. It's adjacent to a major shopping center there at 130th and Aurora, which has already a Sprouts grocer. It has now it's a home flooring, used to be a Hobby Lobby. There's a strip mall section that's got fast food. There's a Planet or LA Fitness or whatever fitness company is currently occupying that location. This is all right in the same stretch of strip malls and businesses.
Yeah.
It's not like we're dropping this in the middle of a community. It's really not.
Yeah, it's not not like a tiny little neighborhood, and they say we're going to stick a Winco in the middle of this
and I understand,
bucolic, beautiful
there's
suburb.
considerations with regard to how much garbage is produced, how much water is used, how much sewage is run off, all these things. Those are all impactful, and I get it. But with regard to traffic impact on your community, it's going to enter and exit off of Aurora Avenue, just south of the city line there.
Are they worried it's going to slow down traffic to all the hookers that are currently there? I don't understand.
Maybe
it is
hooker safety that they're worried about.
Is it the hookers that they're worried about here?
Should they bring in private hooker cross guards? At the what if they picked up at the expense of Winco? Right?
That'd be a funny sign.
Hooker crossing.
Hooker crossing.
Right? Little high heels still silhouette there. Right?
Oh my gosh!
It's what's funny because
what a weird world.
When I was working at the previous radio station, we were on Dexter Avenue, which is just parallel to Aurora, right?
Yeah.
Facebook opened a major Seattle headquarters directly across the street from the buildings which housed our radio stations.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did it just ruin your local community?
The traffic impact was so great because you got 6 stories of Facebook employees that they literally had to hire off-duty police officers to become personal, private traffic mitigation officers to help ease cars out of the building.
Yeah, and into the traffic structure. Yeah.
So it's not without an impact to this area. I get it. And maybe if it's on Winco to police the impact, but I don't think it's traffic is their problem.
Here's what I think this is. So according to Seattle Times, this attorney, what's this attorney's name? Carl Anuta. He's a Portland-based lawyer representing this coalition of people that they're not actually saying who they are.
Lake Washington working families.
Yeah. But
no, yeah. Carl works down in Portland.
Where is the coalition? Yeah. Where are those families?
Does Oregon have a Lake Washington? Maybe they do. I don't know.
So this attorney, according to Seattle Times, mostly handles cases of environmental law.
Yeah. Okay.
This to me seems like an environmental extreme idea that they just don't want any growth because the only thing that they care about is environment, even when it's harming humanity. They just want environment.
It's detrimental to the community to not have a cost-effective grocery option down there. I agree.
Well, no. You and I agree that they should have a good grocery store.
Yeah.
I believe that their argument is just the end game for them is not that they want it to be environmentally friendly. They just don't want any business there.
They want to plant trees.
Yeah, their preference would be bulldoze the whole thing and plant a bunch of trees. And don't get me wrong, I love parks. That sounds great. But you still need grocery stores. And if this is already a grocery store that has just been sitting vacant, that's not good for the community. That draws a whole... Vacant buildings are a massive problem. And I guarantee you, like we've already done stories in this last week with the city trying to crack down on properties to sit vacant for too long. They're even suggesting, I think this is a bad idea, but they're suggesting taxes on businesses who leave their properties vacant because it draws a bad crowd.
It draws crime. It draws drug use. There's literally about half a block north of this proposed Winco location, the closed Sam's Club. They just closed a Kid Valley location permanently. Okay, in the month and a half, 2 months since Kid Valley closed down, it's a war zone.
Is it possible?
Of garbage and drug paraphernalia and low-life people.
Yeah. And is that good for the environment? No. I wonder, can we try to get, Mike, can you reach out to this lawyer? I'd love to talk to this guy and actually find out all we can about why he's trying to stop this from happening. Because that just, to me, it very much feels like I'm suspicious. I'm not saying this is what's actually happening, but I'm very suspicious that he represents more than one person.
And this is Carl G. Anuta is the attorney.
Does he represent more than one person locally here? Or is he just a guy in Portland? I don't know. Maybe he's got a bone to pick with Winco. I have no idea. Maybe he's got a bone to pick with any development happening at all in Washington for some reason. Maybe he's trying to scare up. Maybe he's trying to get Winco down to Portland. I have no idea.
I wish we could get a hold of. I wish we could find out more. I'm less worried about Carl. Anybody can hire a hired gun attorney for their cause, right? I'm more worried about the Lake Washington Working Families Coalition. We can't find out more information about them. They call themselves a coalition of, concerned residents and local Washingtonians, blah, blah, all those things there.
Yeah, but where are they?
But who and what and where?
That's what I would like to know. I think you would like to know the same thing. So let's reach out to this attorney and let's try to get him on. All right. In the remaining couple of minutes, can I throw a couple of ideas at you that I think would be these are national ideas. There's like one of them is federal and one of them is in Florida.
Okay.
These are outside of Washington ideas that I'd be interested to see if they could apply to Washington. Like we always talk about how Washington's so expensive.
Well, we're going to talk to who we got coming in, Scott?
We got Todd Myers. 2 o'clock.
Sorry, Myers.
Todd Myers at 2 o'clock.
Because is Washington as embarrassing to the rest of the country as it is to some of us here at home?
That's
fair question.
That's what he's asking, and I think he makes a strong case.
So you got an example from a federal proposal?
This is Rand Paul. He's talking about the federal budget.
Okay.
And I want to play this clip from you and see, because we always talk about the budget in Washington. It's insane. It's more than doubled in the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so he has an idea about federal spending, how to get that under control. Because what is the national debt now? Like $37 trillion or something crazy?
Well, I think it's going to go to 41 or something.
$41 trillion. Insane. Listen to this idea and then tell me why couldn't we apply this to Washington State?
I think we really all spending needs to hold the line. I introduce a plan every year called the Penny Plan. Right now it takes a 6% cut in all spending to balance in 5 years. That's what I favor. I think the stock market would go gangbusters and the economy would go gangbusters if we announce we're going to reduce spending each year and balance our budget in 5 years. But I'm in a small minority up here who are willing to do that.
Wouldn't that be great if we could just decrease spending? Why can't we? Other than just laziness.
Well, it's not laziness. It's architectured power from donors. I mean, it's money in politics. You're talking about a 6% cut across the board for government spending. That's probably not a bad idea. But that same sledgehammer mentality to budget cuts or looking for fraud, waste, and abuse just doesn't really work.
Why not?
Because you got to do it correctly. You got to do.
I'm not saying be frivolous. Do it correctly.
I got
cut
you, but
6%.
He's saying 6% across the top. I think you could accurately look at waste and fraud and abuse and come up with probably more than 6% savings in the federal budget. But you can't just go 6 from defense, 6 from social services, 6 from blah blah blah.
Well, there's places I'd rather spend the money.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You have to be surgical and forensic.
Let me give you some stuff from Washington. You tell me where you would cut 6%, and this is up to you. You're king for the day.
And Washington State.
Washington State.
Okay.
This is in the last 10 years. In the llast 10 years, 10 years ago, Washington's general apportionment was $11.48 billion, and that was in 2013-15. In 25-27 budget, it is $22 billion, so that's a 98% increase. Okay. Public schools in 13-15, we spent $17.7 billion on public schools. Mm-hmm. In 25-27, we are spending $37.4 billion. That's a 111% increase. Healthcare. In 13, we spent $16.4 billion. In 25-27, we are spending $38 billion. That's a 131% increase. Department of Social and Health Services. 13, we spent $9 billion. This biennium, we're spending $25.4. That is a 182% increase. And then in long-term care, this is a big increase. The number isn't as big, but it's a big increase. In 2013 through 15 biennium, we spent $3.8 billion. This biennium, we're spending $12.9, which is a 239% increase.
And this is state-funded long-term care.
This is state spending, yeah. So in all those things, I think we could cut 6% across the board from all those things, and I don't think we'd be far worse off for it. And in which of those areas, I'm going to say you have to cut 6%. Where would you cut 6%? I'd cut 6% from each.
From defense. I'd cut it from Washington State Defense. We haven't taken an attack from Oregon, Idaho seriously in forever. And I think we can count on the federal government. Any evasion from Canada, we can count on them.
That is you are skirting the question, my friend.
I mean,
public schools. I'd start with schools. It's
hard to argue that doubling our spend on per student and getting less results for equivalently, it's not like we've doubled our student body. We haven't.
Oh.
It's hard to argue that that's not a place that we can find some room to make some cuts.
No,
do we still spend 10% on art?
Our population.
Remember when every public building had to have 10% of the budget spent on art?
Yeah, it's like those big fish.
Let's get rid of the big glove with the hole in it. The tribute to bad third base play at Safeco.
Just for
context,
or
T-Mobile or Lumen, whatever they call it these days.
For context, again, all those numbers are up almost 100, if not more than 100%. Our population has increased 13% in that same time period.
No, I hear you. It's much more.
I think it could easily we could cut.
It's more expensive to do it.
All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
The John Curley Show.
If by like the 15th of October rolls around and suddenly there's a bolt of lightning and I croak out right there, I'm fine.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
My dream of growing a giant pumpkin is just a couple of months away. I know somebody who knows somebody who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows someone who got me the seed. The 1,500-pounder, baby. It's in a secret location. I don't want to say where it is.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Hey, did you hear about that multi-billion-dollar Roundup settlement?
Yeah, it impacts people who are exposed to weed killers at work or at home, even if you just used it in your own yard. Lawsuits claim it causes non-Hodgkin lymphoma, a blood cancer.
But we're not sick, so that doesn't affect us.
But it does. This cancer can take 10 to 15 years to show up.
That's a long time after exposure.
It is, and that's why the settlement is paying claims for up to 21 years. If you get sick, even years from now, you could get $6,000 to $165,000 or more as part of this settlement.
So what's the catch?
If you stay in, you give up the right to sue them later.
Learn more at weedkillerclass.com or call 1-888-403-8201. If you or a loved one has or had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, even if they've passed, you must register for benefits. That's weedkillerclass.com. 1-888-403-8201. Paid for by the Roundup Settlement.
If you've been arrested for DUI, you need a hero. We're giving free consultations via phone and Zoom. Go to DUIHeroes.com or call 1-800-DUI-HERO.
We're human and we make mistakes. If you need someone by your side during a challenging time, DUI Heroes is there for you 24/7. They're excellent at what they do. DUI Heroes averages 90% of all DUI offenses they take on being reduced or completely dismissed. Your DUI defense specialist, DUIHeroes.com.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
I saw her texting coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Owie, wowie!
What's with the...
Water heater's worn out.
Way less hot water?
Takes a lot longer, too.
Sounds like a goner.
Worst of all?
What?
Wasn't planning on it.
We can help.
Apollo Plumbing.
Ready right now to get you...
in hot water.
Same day.
Not this day. My budget.
How about with easy payments?
How much easy?
Around $50 a month with approved credit.
A new water heater?
50 gallons of 100% hot water delight.
For about $50 a month.
51, 52 to be precise.
And you can do it
today, if that's what you need.
Is it ever?
Apollo installs new ones with code upgrades.
Can't beat that.
Actually, I can.
What?
Your same-day water heater replacement includes Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
Which means?
Apollo Plumbing covers your new water heater for life.
You mean should it ever wear out?
Apollo Plumbing replaces it free.
And if it needs service?
Service is included for our A-list members.
Wow!
Your new water heater is ready
right now
at ApolloPlumbing.com.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Jazz Alley invites you to witness a generational talent celebrate two icons. Pianist Emmett Cohen presents Miles and Coltrane at 100. Shows run April 16th through 19th. Tickets at jazzalley.com. Next up, the Bad Plus Farewell Tour.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Senate Republicans again blocked a Democratic push to limit President Trump's authority to wage war on Iran. The measure today failed on a 52-47 vote, mostly along party lines. Washington U.S. Senator Patty Murray.
Democrats are going to keep forcing votes to end this war until our men and women in uniform are back home.
Republicans argue the president needs flexibility to end the war, although some say they want a clearer exit strategy. President Trump again insisted the war is nearly over, saying peace talks with Iran could be looming. More from CBS's Cami McCormick.
An Iranian military commander has threatened to halt trade in the entire Gulf region if the U.S. doesn't lift its blockade on Iranian ports. U.S. naval forces have been warning ships.
The U.S. has announced a formal blockade of Iranian ports and coastal areas. This is illegal action.
The U.S. Central Command says no vessels have made it past U.S. forces since the blockade began. The U.S. has not formally agreed to extend the ceasefire with Iran, but mediators say progress is being made in getting both sides back to the negotiating table.
Out of the closing bell reports, Washington's unemployment rate climbing again. New state numbers show job growth slowed in February with just 700 net jobs added. Unemployment rate rose to 5.1%. That is the fourth straight monthly increase and up 0.5% from just November. State economists say employment growth has largely stalled, raising concerns the labor market may be shifting. A once popular shoemaker is stepping into the AI business. CBS's Jason Brooks explains.
Allbirds announced it's pivoting into an AI services provider, renaming itself Newbird AI, and is raising $50 million to acquire high-performance AI compute hardware in order to rent graphics chips to customers and provide AI cloud solutions. That's a far cry from Allbirds' origin as a shoemaker. But the San Francisco company closed all of its shoe stores and sold its intellectual property earlier this year, following years of weakening sales. Investors are jumping all over Allbirds shares, with the stock skyrocketing by more than 700% during trading.
It closed today up 582% at about $17 a share. As for the rest of Wall Street, the Dow lost 72 points. NASDAQ gained, though, big, 376 points, and S&P up 55. Now to the real-time traffic desk. Here's Nate Connors.
Thanks, Aaron. Day and night plumbing, heating, cooling, and electric has our update. We've got a traffic alert this afternoon up in Marysville. It's both directions of State Route 9 shut down near 84th Street Northeast due to an unfortunate fatality. This will be a long-term closure. Just occurred here within the last half hour, so you'll need to find alternate routes. In Bellingham, it's good news. All northbound lanes of I-5 reopened at South Samish Way after about a month-long closure due to a mudslide. Heading through Seattle, South 5 looks great. Just minor crowding through the heart of downtown. North 5, though, we've got a bumper-to-bumper backup starting before the West Seattle Bridge, just past I-90, and then your Ship Canal Bridge backup starts near Lakeview Boulevard. All added up, it's 25 minutes to get through this. South 405 packed through Factoria, and up in Canyon Park, northbound 405 slows just briefly, on either side of 527. This month, when you install a new AC or heat pump, you'll get a free furnace from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Scheduled today at dayandnight.net. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Spotty showers today. Some isolated thunderstorms also possible. Convergence zone right now up in the Snohomish County area. Some pretty heavy rain right around Everett. Right now looking at 43 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. Yesterday on the show, Spike and I had a very fiery, great conversation talking about Zoran Mamdani. He's the mayor of New York, and he wants to make things cheaper for people. He ran on that. That was his platform.
Making New York City more accessible to all of its residents, not just those who are doing well.
He's a socialist.
He's a democratic socialist.
He's a socialist.
Democratic socialist.
Same thing. He's a socialist.
No, not really. So, well, democratic
What's the
socialist.
difference?
A democratic socialist, socialism is a large overarching definition of a governing philosophy. Mm-hmm. A democratic socialist is someone who still believes in a democracy, a democratic republic, but with a higher prioritization on social programs, i.e. fire departments, police departments, public works, those
grocery stores.
Well, in some cases it's been tried, in some cases successful. More often than not, it fails.
Every time it seems to fail over the long term. But grocery stores, he wants to...
He wants to make sure that government is working for the least among its citizenry. Democratic socialism. FDR was a democratic socialist.
Okay.
Credited with saving the country from the Great Depression, turning
You think
it around,
FDR and Mamdani are the same?
I think they're both democratic socialists by definition.
Okay. Mamdani...
Could probably win in a race.
Mamdani wants to open socialized grocery stores.
He wants to have state New York City government subsidized, funded grocery stores, yes.
Yes.
Yep.
In neighborhoods where there are already privately run grocery stores.
Yeah.
Okay. In this case, directly across the street.
Sometimes right across the street, sure. Yeah.
It's an interesting business choice. He talked about what will be available at these grocery stores should they ever actually come to fruition. It will be lower cost items, not everything, because obviously that would be tough to do, but he says they can offer core menu items that will be less expensive. Here's a little bit of that.
New York City, it is time for a grand experiment once again. We will use government to respond to rising prices and unaffordable groceries.
You got to love the guy on the street. Every New York public speaking, there's a guy.
Yeah. I thought he included. I apologize. I thought he included some of the items: bread.
We're talking about essentials,
eggs, staple items.
Right? Yeah.
Just kind of the things that fill your refrigerator.
Not
when you run out.
Not oops all crunch berries. Not included.
Yeah. These are the things that I get at Costco. I would say are like these.
Yeah, staples.
Staple
Can
items.
We call them? Yeah.
Yes.
Not to be confused with
butter.
Yeah.
Eggs.
Butter, eggs, milk, meat, veggie,
bread.
Yeah.
Meat, I don't know if meat's on that list, but
I think it would have to be as an essential part of a nutritious breakfast.
I don't know that.
Okay,
I don't know
fair.
that.
That's fair.
CBS sent a reporter out to talk to some of the local deli owners, local grocery owners, who offer those items currently,
directly
across the street from this new business that Mamdani's funding to put in there. Listen to this. This is interesting. This guy was asked. He says, "Hey,
he sounds excited."
Yeah, well, he sounds like he doesn't want to have the local government
CBS
come
News
down
in his
on
face.
him.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to, be protective of his words. He doesn't want
Sure, he's just doing the
six.
6-7. He's just
So he sells these items. He sells these
These staples?
eggs and
Yeah,
staples.
yeah.
And so he's asked, like, hey, is this going to make business better for you, or is this going to make business more difficult for you?
Yeah, I think, you get 10 more cheaper over there, I think, yeah.
And then 2 blocks down the street is another deli grocery store. The person who runs this store doesn't speak English, but told me that while he thinks it's a good idea to help people with limited resources, he says a city-run store nearby could affect his business.
So there's nobody out there who's arguing you don't want to help people who need help.
Yeah. Well, everybody can agree that people need help.
The problem is when government intervenes in things, which we've seen in many different, many instances. Look at college, how expensive college has gotten ever since, you and I have talked about this, since government got involved in guaranteeing college loans.
Well,
what do big colleges and companies decide to do?
They charge whatever they want.
Charge whatever we want.
They know it's guaranteed money. Yeah.
Guaranteed money.
Yeah.
So I don't see that happening any different. But you said you were loaded for bear on this one.
Well, here's the deal. We're talking about, should the government step in and subsidize a food market to a select portion of its citizenry, right? Is that what we're talking about?
And this is double portions because they already are saying that this neighborhood has a bunch of people who already get free food benefits.
Well, get food benefits.
So now they're going to spend that money at a government store, which is also subsidized.
That's part of the solution for me. Because
interesting.
The government already is in the grocery business. Look at any military commissary.
But that's a different thing.
Let me. It's really not.
It really is. It really is because those people work for you. It's a full on different thing. The people in this neighborhood in this bodega, they're not your employees.
Well, but look, I'll grant you that.
That's a massive difference. But go ahead.
Let me explain why I think it's a similarity.
Okay.
The government gives the people the money that they're spending at the grocery store.
Okay.
And if they're in the military, you're earning a paycheck from the government, and you're spending at a government grocery store, right? If the government is also assisting people with food benefits, okay, what if those were the only people that could shop at these government subsidized stores? What if you only allowed customers in who were using SNAP benefits or food benefits? That's the only currency accepted at these grocery stores. Would that wouldn't hurt the local grocers?
Sure it would.
Well, because they're taking SNAP benefits too, right? You're right, they are.
Yeah, so it would absolutely hurt. The point is, where are you getting your groceries?
Yeah.
If it's from the local government, then the local grocers are just SOL.
Well, they're not going to go out of business. You keep saying that's not a foregone conclusion. This guy said, would it be bad for business? Would it hurt my business? Sure. Maybe he could stop carrying those things that he doesn't have a high markup on.
Okay.
Essentials, because people who go to grocery stores also still shop at bodegas.
I understand.
They also got a convenience sake, right?
Well, you just said they have to stop carrying those things that they sell as staples.
I'd say they have to. They could if
they want to stay in business. Otherwise, they're going to lose money.
They can keep all the paper towels, paper plates, Captain Crunch they want, and charge whatever they want to do that, and they'll stay in business because people still want those things. Because you can't spend government dollars on the periphery of your shopping, where you can only spend them on core elements. You want popsicles and cookies?
Do you agree?
And whatnot, and snacks and chips and dips and drinks.
Do you agree that at these small little delis and grocery stores, their margins are not massive?
Absolutely.
These are not rich people.
Yeah, even big grocers don't have big margins.
And if you're telling them that a big chunk of what they currently offer and they're currently selling to people is no longer a viable product for them, doesn't that hurt their long-term prospects at being successful in that business?
If they don't adapt. You're assuming they're not going to adapt.
But isn't it unfair to give this other government-run thing an unfair advantage against these people who are penalized
for
doing it privately?
Government picks winners and losers every day. They do. The government picks winners and losers.
Oh my gosh,
right? They do.
I just don't understand.
That's okay. I can explain it slower for you.
When we come back, can you explain it slower for me?
No, let's move on.
No. I want you to explain it slower for me how this is good for local businesses. Sure. It's important that we hash this out because I can't understand.
No. That's a different finish
line. My
little
brain just can't understand it.
I'll help.
And Spike's going to help.
I'll help.
When we come back. Stick
around. Want a cookie?
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Nick, you know what's a great thing about going to Longevity Medical Clinic as a couple?
Oh, I absolutely do. When they tell you to do something, you actually do it.
Right. And the same thing with you. When they tell you to do it, because for some reason, when I tell you to do it, you're like, whoa.
I just walk away and roll my eyes.
Exactly. But the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic, the doctors there know, because we do the blood draw and they look and they can see, they know, they hold us accountable.
Yeah, when I'm under pressure and I know I'm coming in, I know I have to work the program.
Right. Plus, we also want to hold each other accountable for how we take care of ourselves because, you know, we want to have a long, healthy, happy life.
I know. I want every day to torture you as long as I possibly can.
Well, I look forward to it. Here's the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic. They're working with you. They're holding you accountable because they want you to have a long, healthy, happy life. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
How was your break?
It was great until I stopped for gas. Prices have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive.
That's exactly why I use Upside. I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app.
Upside?
Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code STATION for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code STATION for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up. That's STATION.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help.
Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File today the easy way in the Credit Karma app.
Home Comfort Alliance, a Carrier factory authorized dealer delivering efficiency, reliability, and quiet performance every time. John Curley here. Upgrade to Carrier cooling and get a heating system free. Use their 60-second price estimator at homecomfortalliance.com.
At Guardian Roofing Gutters and Insulation, we know that keeping your home watertight and dry is essential to your family's safety and comfort. Having well-functioning gutters prevents water damage to your home and prolongs the life of your roof. Whether you need a cleaning or a complete gutter install, we do it all. Call today and get $250 off a gutter installation and visit us at guardianroofing.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. We've decided to make this a twofer just because it's such a fun topic. In New York, they're trying a great experiment. This has been tried many other times and failed, but maybe they can get it right this time. Zohar Mamdani wants to open, in the 5 boroughs of New York, he wants to open 5 grocery stores.
Yeah.
1 in each borough. He has $70 million to do it with. The first store already is running about $30 million, so he's probably not going to hit that mark unless he gets more money for it. Before the break, Spike, I asked you if you could explain to me how this is a benefit to local communities, including the many grocery stores that already surround this new city-owned grocery store.
Well, you've got genuine concern for business owners who are going to be put under from an unlevel playing field when you're competing with the city.
Yes.
In the way of delivering
Which
service.
I see as a bad thing, but you think they can adapt.
Well, here's the thing. We're talking about providing, I don't know how many New Yorkers these 5 grocers are anticipated to serve. I'll look for the number, what the projected reach is of these 5 stores.
Yeah.
Do you know how many grocers are currently working in the 5 boroughs of New York? How many grocery stores?
I have no idea.
Take a guess for me.
10,000.
Over 15,000 grocers.
15,000.
And we're talking about 5 government-assisted stores going in.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that that's going to have an impact, a negative impact on 15,000 grocers. Will some folks have to adapt or maybe even go out of business to the benefit of the community? Possibly.
How is that to the benefit of the community?
If the community at large can get cheaper groceries, that benefits the community. This is federal. This is state money, city money going in, probably state money, going in to benefit. But say 10,000 shoppers.
Wouldn't it make more sense if you're hell bent on just wasting money, which I think this is, but if you're just hell bent on giving out money, why don't you just give the people that you're saying can't afford the groceries currently for sale at these private businesses?
Take that $70 million, give the money right to the people.
Just give them that money and let them spend more money on groceries. Cut out the middleman. You're literally creating a middleman, which is government. Show me one effective government office. Like, imagine a government run like a post office. It just doesn't seem like it's the greatest idea for me because they don't have a profit incentive. They're not going to run as efficiently as possible.
It's the thing. You're not talking about a profit margin with a city-run grocery store.
I know. Doesn't that worry you?
No, it doesn't. I think it's investment in the well-being of a community.
You keep saying those words, but I don't understand how the community gets better when you're choking out the businesses who've already invested.
If 20 stores go under,
that's
horrible. Out of 15,000.
No, but that's horrible.
It's okay.
20 private. You know how much people put on the line to open up a business? We advertise businesses here all the time. These people
I'm anti-business, of course.
No, you're not. Don't say that.
I'm being facetious. Okay, if 20 businesses go under, it would be a devastating loss.
It would be horrible.
And if 100,000 people can afford to eat better food and make their ends meet, isn't that a small price to pay? 20 businesses going to help 100,000 people?
If there was a model that showed that actually was what happened in these situations, you go to countries, to some of the countries who employ this on a wide level. Go look at Cuba and tell me if you think those people are eating better. Are they or not? That's the system you're talking about.
It's not the system
It's the exact system.
There's a system right now called Food Retail Expansion to Support Health. It's called FRESH. The acronym is FRESH.
Sure.
Okay, food retail expansion to support health.
Okay.
This has already taken part in over 30% of the groceries in New York City.
Okay.
We're already getting federal assistance to help
We have
lower
SNAP.
the cost.
Yeah, other places have things. You have EBT, all those different things.
This isn't money being handed to shoppers. This is grocers being given different assistance levels to help with zoning, to help with taxes, to help with whatever it may be, rent, subsidies, to help make their grocery a viable reach out to this community.
Okay.
This is just the next step in that evolution of trying to make sure that state dollars go to help people get the most benefit from your money.
Mike, we got Mike filling as producer today. Laura's out. The text line, do they think I'm crazy or Spike's crazy? Which one do they think is most crazy?
It's pretty dead even, actually.
Dead even. That's insane to me.
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me. I honestly, I watched a video of a guy from Cuba come and walk around a Costco. He could not believe the options that we have available.
I can't believe they got him to leave.
To leave Cuba?
To leave Costco.
Oh.
I'm sleeping on a mattress for sale. I'm watching the TV I'm never leaving.
I just think. Listen, we obviously we're going to disagree on this, and we can watch this, and we can watch this play out.
Yeah,
and we can watch. Is it going to have more options or less options? I would prefer more options. When I go into a grocery store and I have 37 different yogurts to choose from, which is great, and you walk into a place like a grocery store in Cuba and they have a thing that says yogurt.
There's a yogurt. There's only one this month.
And there's one. And if you don't get it, yeah. No.
Well, here's the drill. I love your sensibilities. It doesn't work. The examples are thousands of examples where it hasn't worked. But I think that they can learn from those mistakes. They can adjust the system they're trying to put in place. They can grow and find a way to get the most for the investment in the community from a state money resource.
To me, it seems like another $70 million that you're going to waste of taxpayer funds.
There
are going to be no grocery stores, and then it's just going to be a waste. So they've wasted $70 million. But hey, try it out.
I hope you're wrong about that. I'm optimistic.
I don't know what makes you optimistic. If history teaches us anything, you have zero reason to be optimistic. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Todd Myers coming up next. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
Sound Transit is bleeding cash. $34 billion in the hole to try to expand light rail. You know what might fix that? Maybe making people pay for the service. Sound Transit's looking at turnstiles. What do you think? We'll talk about it on Seattle's Morning News coming up Thursday morning.
Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Progressive knows life takes you in many directions.
Bear right at exit 32, then begin to wonder why you never bought a fish tank. In 1.3 miles, you'll realize you've been mispronouncing epitome your whole life. At the roundabout, you will remember you said something at dinner you wish you hadn't, and will think about it for decades. You have arrived at your destination, but it turns out there really is no destination, and life just keeps going.
Wherever life takes you, protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
A multi-billion-dollar settlement is paying claims for up to 21 years. If you were exposed to weed killers at work or at home, your rights are affected. If you or your family has or had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, you could receive $6,000 to $165,000 or more. This settlement impacts you even if you're not sick, because this blood cancer can take 10 to 15 years to appear. If you stay in the settlement, you give up your right to sue. Learn more at weedkillerclass.com or call 888-403-8201. Paid for by the Roundup Settlement.
I had pain, I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Don't wait. Insulate. Last year, American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $2 million in insulation rebates from PSE, more than any provider in the state. If your home was built before 1990, you're eligible for recouping up to 95% of insulation replacement costs. Insulate with American Crawl Space and keep your home warm during the winter and cool during the summer.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
Monopoly. CBS's Allison Keyes with more.
Live Nation Entertainment owns, operates, and has an equity interest in hundreds of venues, and its subsidiary Ticketmaster is considered to be the world's largest ticket seller for live events. Legal analyst Lori Levinson says,
we can expect that when the jury finally takes a look at the damages here, it could be a huge amount.
The jury found that Ticketmaster overcharged customers just under $2 per ticket in 22 states. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
President Trump has insisted again the war with Iran is nearly over, but tensions are high in the Gulf over a U.S. blockade. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
An Iranian military commander has threatened to halt trade in the entire Gulf region if the U.S. doesn't lift its blockade on Iranian ports. U.S. naval forces have been warning ships.
The U.S. has announced a formal blockade of Iranian ports and coastal areas. This is illegal action.
The U.S. Central Command says no vessels have made it past U.S. forces since the blockade began. The U.S. has not formally agreed to extend the ceasefire with Iran, but mediators say progress is being made in getting both sides back to the negotiating table.
Millions brace for another day of severe weather, according to this Wisconsin resident.
All of a sudden, the wind picked up. I go run out the front door, and the wind's just going sideways, and it's like, whoo! I'm like, holy.
More from CBS's Usher Qureshi.
We can see trees snapped, roofs damaged, and crews are here working to clear debris. Now, overnight, strong storms pushed through parts of Wisconsin, Iowa, and Illinois, bringing large hail, damaging winds, and reported tornadoes. Now, according to the National Weather Service, some of those wind gusts topped 60 miles per hour.
Today, the system stretches from Texas up to the northeast. The most severe weather could hit Oklahoma City up to northern Wisconsin. With the partial government shutdown now in its 60th day, House Speaker Mike Johnson says Republicans will move forward with procedures that can get around Democrats' refusal to move forward in the Senate as Democrats demand limits on ICE immigration tactics.
It's going to come from the Senate. They're working that very aggressively. We expect to have that in our hands sent over to the House probably by middle to the end of next week.
Continuing hopes for a peace deal between the U.S. and Iran result in records on Wall Street. CBS's Jason Brooks.
Wall Street benefited from strong gains in semiconductor and financial stocks, and that pushed the S&P 500 and NASDAQ to record highs.
Dow closed down 72 points, but the NASDAQ closed up 377, and the S&P 500 rose 56 points. This is CBS News.
Every Sunday, moderator Margaret Brennan goes face-to-face with top leaders to make you better informed. Face the Nation, Sunday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Coming up, the massive cleanup work behind a landslide near Bellingham. That's after Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
Hey, thanks, Aaron. We have a traffic alert up in Marysville this afternoon. Both directions of State Route 9 are closed near 84th Street Northeast due to a semi-involved fatality. This will be a long-term closure. You'll need to seek alternate routes this afternoon. In Everett, we have our afternoon Boeing shift underway, so that has eastbound 526 jam-packed, leaving the factory over to I-5. I-5 corridor is looking pretty good. South 5 is looking good heading into Seattle. Really no significant backups in your way. South 5 near the north end of the Boeing field, however, we have a stalled vehicle on the right shoulder. It's a big rig, and it's a distraction, so drivers are slowing down at the seam. North 5, you're bumper-to-bumper at the West Seattle Bridge, just past I-90. And then your Ship Canal Bridge backup starts just past Mercer. 20 minutes gets you through downtown. South 405, solid through Factoria, and North 405 slows to the Renton S-curves. Everywhere else, we're doing fine. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. Well, it took nearly a month, but drivers can now access I-5 northbound through South Samish Way. A landslide there back on March 19th cut off the freeway south of Bellingham. David Rasback with WashDOT tells me it was a big cleanup effort.
And all told, they hauled off about 7,000 cubic yards of material, which is enough to fill 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools.
Engineers also had to reinforce that slope. They worked alongside crews that rappelled down the hillside, shoring up loose rock and drilling nearly 100 steel dowels. Notorious homeless camp at Totem Pole Park in West Seattle is no more. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch was there this morning as city crews swept the sites.
Neighbors say this encampment that sits next to the West Seattle Golf Course has been the epicenter for crime, violence, and drug abuse that spills into the greater community. Some campers, like Aiden, say they have called this camp home for several weeks now and face an even more uncertain future.
We're just getting our stuff to the sidewalk so that they don't throw it away. And from there, we just kind of sleep wherever we fall asleep, I guess.
Fortunately, the city also has workers here to assist campers if they want help. In West Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Tacoma voters, you will decide in August whether to approve a new property and utility tax to fund street and sidewalk improvements. City Council unanimously passed that measure last night. Councilmember Sandesh Sandalge.
If this does not pass, we will have very, very, very hard decisions coming up.
The new 10-year levy renews taxes from a 2015 initiative that expired. The tax would cost residents about $10.40 a month. More than 15,000 customers across the San Juan Islands are in the dark after a system-wide power outage. Orcus Power and Light says the blackout is caused by an accident on the mainland tied to Puget Sound Energy. Crews report a downed wire and says repairs could take several hours. The outage started at around 8:30 this morning. No estimate yet on when the power will be restored. Your weather update now. We are looking at scattered showers this afternoon and also some sun breaks. Highs today topping out in the low 50s. Right now, 48 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 2 hours down, 1 hour to go. Great conversations being had here. If you guys want to get in on them, you can text us at the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. Very excited to have him back on the show. It's been a few weeks, but he's one of our favorite guests. Todd Myers from the Washington Policy Center joins us now. Todd, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Nice to chat with you.
Todd, you had a great article in the Dispatch that I was reading this morning. And the title of the article, and I want to go through it with you, the title of the article is Washington the most embarrassing state in the nation? Which is an interesting question. Tell us a little bit about how you posed this question. Why was that on your mind?
Yeah. Well, people always think of like Florida Man and the crazy stories that we hear out of Florida. But with regard to governance, and I work in public policy, so I see a lot of this every day. I would talk with my friends in other states and I would tell them stories, and they would look at me and shake their head and say, "Is that real?" And I would say, "It is real." And I would tell these stories enough that I started to think that maybe Washington, really was one of the most embarrassing when it comes to the silly things we do in terms of governance. I really love Washington State. I'm not going to leave it. There's a lot of people talking about leaving. I'm not leaving. But I do want to make it better. And I thought by highlighting some of the ridiculous things that we do, it would be both cathartic for me and instructive on the things we need to fix.
So let's start where you talk about how Washington claims to be like leaders in a lot of things. Explain why you don't necessarily want to give them that title.
Well, for about 25 years, I've worked in environmental policy in Washington State, and it's really important to me. When you hear Governor Ferguson and previously Governor Inslee and a lot of people talk about climate policy, for example, they say, "Oh, we are leaders. We're showing the way." This goes back, I remember in 2005 when Greg Nichols created the U.S. Conference of Mayors Climate Protection Agreement. And he talked about, we're showing how it can be done. But, over those 20 years or more, Washington and Seattle and King County have literally missed every single one of their targets, except in 2020 because of COVID. But every other year.
When nobody was allowed to leave the house.
Yeah.
Way to find the silver lining, though. Good job.
That's true. Yeah, good job.
So, that I think is a perfect example. But what's interesting is that even though we keep failing at meeting the goals that legislators and other folks say that they want, we fail every year, and yet we keep calling ourselves leaders. And so one of the lines that I put in the article that several people have pointed out, I was like, we're the New York Jets, but we think we're the Seattle Seahawks. We always talk about how great we are, but, really, we don't meet any of our promises.
I liked when you quoted Otter from Animal House. That was my favorite part. Hey, you blanked up. You trusted us. That's how we keep coming back to these leaders who keep not delivering for us. You cited some of the most truly, genuinely embarrassing moments for Washingtonians from this administration, whether it's, missing the results from the CCA by just a magnitude of 10, right? And nobody caught that. Nobody caught that simple decimal point math error from was it $4 billion to $40 billion in benefit? If I remember correctly, I'm probably fudging the numbers.
Yeah, we would. I think we talked about this previously. But what was so frustrating about that is that when they sent out the press release, and they sent it out the day before Thanksgiving, and against my better judgment, when I should have been drinking and making my turkey, I looked at their press release, and
how can you eat after that? Yeah,
I instantly knew that they were wrong. And I started going through the report, and I found the major error like within an hour or two. And it's like, why is it that I can see the obvious mistake just from the press release and they can't, and they have all the data and purportedly all the experts? That, I think, was the most frustrating part of that thing to me. Mistakes get made, but when you make a giant mistake and don't notice it, and I notice it immediately, I think that says that we just don't care.
That's
and that is embarrassing.
The visuals of you eating a turkey leg and having to spit it out, reading that stupid memo and being like, wait a minute. That is the part that jumped out to me. I think we're on the list of all the embarrassing things. There's a lot of competition there, but that's one of those ones that kind of sticks out where you go, wow, how is it possible that the people who are supposed to be in charge didn't identify this before they sent this out as a victory lap? And
right, nobody proofreads the press release. Nobody double checks the numbers before you put out a press release and take a victory lap. But you know what's even more embarrassing? I'm with you. That's embarrassing. And you cite many examples from the push 2 for Spanish and getting an American Spanish accent that's embarrassing. But what's even more embarrassing is the fact that Jay keeps points out on a regular basis. They have no measurable success to share with the city. They refuse to give their
Department of
Ecology for what the CCA is giving us, delivering to us. They're unaccountable. That's more embarrassing than a typo or a drop decimal point to me. The fact that they just refuse to be accountable, and they're so what? That's embarrassing.
Well, and in fact, right, they're required by law to release data about how Washington is doing in meeting its CO2 targets, and they literally are going to court to prevent the public from knowing this thing that they say is critical. They are spending taxpayer dollars to hide what's actually happening, and I just think that that's really unconscionable, especially in every other press release. They talk about how critical climate change is and what a good job they're doing. So it's funny because in my post there's a lot of comments, and I knew there would be comments about two things. One, other states saying, "Oh no, you have no idea.
You ain't seen hold my turkey leg. You ain't seen nothing." Yeah.
So there's some very funny stories from other states, but also a lot of people from Washington State saying, "Todd, you forgot this, or you forgot this, or you forgot this," and it's like, yes. I mean, there's too many examples.
You're like, this is an article, not a book. I can't do the whole thing. What do you say? When people want to talk about another highlight or low light, whatever that you name in here is Seattle's Mayor Katie Wilson, and you talk about now her. Obviously, we haven't fully seen how she's going to govern. It's early days, but her background leading into this it's pretty thin. And she is elected to the highest office in Seattle. You could look at that and like Spike and I have been getting into this disagreement over the last 2 days. We just had it a second ago. But in New York, Mom Donnie, also a socialist, wants to do the grocery stores, the publicly funded grocery stores. He wants to open 5 of them. He's got a budget of $70 million. He's already spent 30. Hasn't opened one yet. I don't think it's going to go well based on history, but Spike and I disagree on that. But the reason that it scares me and the reason I'm passionate about talking about it is because he and Katie Wilson are very, very similar. And I could easily see, like very easily, in fact, I'm shocked that this hasn't already been suggested. Maybe it hasn't, I just haven't noticed it. I could easily see Katie Wilson watching that kind of from a distance and thinking to herself, let's see how that plays out, because that is a policy that would really play well with her voters in Seattle. And then that's just another great way to waste money, in my opinion. But I'd love your take on that.
Well, I think that government-run grocery stores are not going to go well for a variety of reasons. But, one of the reasons that I wrote the piece that I did and why we've done other things like what we call our report card for Washington's future is to show accountability, right? We don't have to, people can debate about whether something will work or not. But what you have to look at is, okay, they promised that they would do this, and then it didn't work out, right? Much like Flounder, you effed up, you trusted us. And I think you have to go back and say, they told us that if we raised taxes, they would deliver this, and they raised the taxes, but they never delivered this. They didn't deliver improved education. They didn't deliver better roads. They didn't deliver more, in the case of grocery stores, food access. So I have my, feelings about what will happen, because I think history shows what happens in those situations. But at the very least, we need to learn from the past failures, and I think we keep making the same mistakes over and over again and expecting that this time it will work out.
Do you think there will be a political change in Washington? Washington's a very, very blue state. It's funny. I was listening to some news reports of the California governor's race. There's all that Swalwell stuff in the last couple of days, and everybody. And now it's Steyer. Steyer's a likely guy. He's going to pick up a lot of that percentage. Probably not Katie Porter because
no, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah. So but it could be Katie Porter and Steyer as the top two because of their system, and the people were commenting saying like, hey, California hasn't had a Republican in office in 16 years. Isn't that crazy? But in Washington, I was like, guys, hold my beer. Look at Washington. It's been 40 years. At what point do you think it's going to be that people in Washington can get beyond the party politics, stop looking at the R or the D next to a name, and instead start looking at actual policies? Like in Washington State, here's my assessment of it. Democrats have pretty much had their lay of the land in Washington for far beyond, for my entire lifetime. And yet people still find themselves it's the 5th most expensive state in the country. It's almost impossible to build a house for anything that's near affordable. And the reason that those things are happening is because there's policy decisions being made that make your life more difficult and take more of your money. Is there going to be a breaking point at which people go, hey, you know what? Let's give somebody else a chance just to mix things up a little bit to see if there's a better life out there that we're not living. Is that possible, or is Washington just too far gone?
No, I'm not moving, and I think it's worth fighting, and I think it's worth being rational. And look, it doesn't necessarily have to be Republicans. I think there are a lot of Democrats who are very frustrated with what's going on right now. We had a forum last month with a Democratic member of the legislature, a Democratic consultant, and our policy analyst, and everybody, Democrat and conservative, all agreed that the state would benefit from more diverse representation in the state. Just to do what you're talking about is to provide that perspective. I think what we have seen in recent years, because Washington has been so prosperous for so long, that we have lost a sense that things can go wrong, right? We say, okay, well, things are not going the way I want, but overall things are going well. I think you're seeing people realize, we could screw this up. And so for a long time, how people have voted is that they have voted based on social issues. They have voted based on the fact that they wanted to show support for minority groups or other things like that, to show that they care about others. I think that's fantastic. But at some point, the bills come due. And if you're not getting what you paid for, you're not getting the support for minorities, you're not getting improved education, you're not getting the improved environment, and you're paying more, that I think is the point where people have to realize and say, you know what, this isn't working. I want to vote for things that make me feel good, but we're not getting that, and we need to start requiring some competence, and we don't have competence in Washington State.
Well, it's funny because, I mean, you cite the social issues that people vote for, and I count myself amongst those people, because I feel like those rights and those liberties for certain segments of our population have been under attack in the last decade. But, Jake makes the point about it being a totally democratically controlled state. And one of the commenters on your piece, which, again, is a really great piece, is at the Dispatch. You guys all should read it. One of the comments in yours points out very, very accurately, Washington Democrats didn't have total control over both houses and the executive until like 8-9 years ago. But that's when things really went off the rail, when we stopped having bipartisan conversations and debates and compromise to get both points of view represented in our state government. So that's where we went totally one party about a decade ago. And that's when we were top 5 in the country in business, when we were in the top of every rankings in the country. And now that, compromise has been vilified, people just don't have to listen to the other side, let alone entertain the ideas.
Yeah, and I think, look, I have a lot of, although I am generally on the center right, I have a lot of sympathy, Mike, for the kinds of issues you're talking about. And one of the things that I tell people is that I went to my first gay wedding in 1998, long before anybody was talking about legalizing gay marriage. And I have frustrations in that area as well. But like I say, I think we need to protect some of those issues and be cognizant of them. But at the same time, we have to demand competence from government.
No, I couldn't agree more. Yeah.
We are not getting competence from government in so many areas.
When there's no accountability, there's no results. If you can't count on your vote to deliver those two things, then reconsider your vote.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Todd Myers, Washington Policy Center. Go check his piece out at the Dispatch. It's very good reading. You're not going to be sorry. You're going to want to share it with some friends as well. Todd, thanks for making the time, man.
And by the way, I want to compliment the purple tie. Spirit of compromise. Look at you. There's the little things. These days, when I see a politician, he's wearing the costume, the blue suit, the red tie, I'm thinking you got, one mouth and 2 ears for a reason. Listen more than you talk, but I compliment you, my friend.
Was that deliberate, Todd? Was that deliberate?
Absolutely.
He'll say it is. Yeah. Smart man. All right. Thanks, Todd. Appreciate it.
Have a good day.
You too, buddy.
Todd's a great guy.
He is. And, we don't see eye on a lot of different issues, but you can't knock the common sense approach he's taken to this.
Yeah.
How can you expect politicians who don't deliver results how do you keep giving them the keys to the kingdom?
Yeah.
When there's no accountability, there's no measurable success, and they keep saying, we're going to keep taking, we're going to keep taking, we're going to keep taking. And even though by law, we're required by law to tell you what we've done with your money, and they just don't do it. And they pay to not have to do it. They spend money to not have to
hide
do
it. They spend your money to hide how they're spending your money. I do feel like, I think a lot of people are kind of coming online in a way that they weren't in the last few years. I really do think that this income tax was a line in the sand that was drawn.
I think you're right.
And it's offensive to people because, not just because the many times it's been turned over to the public.
It was
to
11 times,
They
right?
keep saying, we're not interested. But the fact that they just shoved it through and they shoehorned it in, and then you could have people like, Todd points out in his article, it's a really great piece. Somebody asked, I think NPR was talking to Senate Majority Leader Jamie Peterson, whose bill it was that got passed, why it was that just 2 years ago he voted against ever having an income tax in Washington State.
This is the pie crust promise.
His answer is basically like, well, it's a pie crust promise. It's easily broken.
Easily made, easily broken.
I honestly, I had heard that before, and I had heard that like I didn't honestly think that those words would have come out of his mouth. Because it to me, it's so brazen of an admittance of being willing to just completely throw aside what you have told people you're going to do, the contract that we all have, which is the Constitution in our state, to just throw that out and to act like it's meaningless and we can just bypass it because we don't want you to have a say in it.
They turn around and justify it by declaring it an emergency. Well, and a budgetary emergency, so we don't have to abide by the state constitution. We don't have to go and trust and ask for the will of the people.
And it's more than that. It's them saying, we don't even care that you have a problem with it.
Right.
And we're so confident. Like, it's not the same. It's not the exact same thing because obviously Swalwell's seems to be like a real dirtbag. But that guy felt very, very confident. Now, again, these are allegations. I don't know if they're true, but there's a preponderance of evidence to suggest that there's some not good things happening. He was acting as if he was untouchable, right? So much so that he said, "Hey, I'm gonna." And I'm seeing a similar thing with local politicians who are willing to literally, in some cases, show up drunk at work. And I think to myself, the mental gymnastics you would have to go through to be willing to just say, hey, I can be drunk at work. Who cares? On this pivotal committee meeting where we're discussing an income tax.
It's not even mental gymnastics. In my mind, you're spot on, but I look at it, when you look at these people that put themselves in bulletproof positions, whether it's through gerrymandering or it's through veto-proof majorities, supermajorities, they don't care. They're not going to lose control. They're never going to get voted out.
I don't think Washington politicians who are in power think that there's any way that they're ever not going to be in power. That's what it feels like to me. We're just watching it from a distance.
I think you're right. I think this is a sea change moment.
But it feels like a sea change.
It really does. And last time they came closer, Republicans in this state, to the executive, came closer than ever. Imagine if the state Republican Party had gotten behind Reichert and not been Byrd.
Yeah.
This guy could have come home for him.
Maybe. Yeah, it would have been interesting. All right, hey, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. This is a really cool story. There's a guy who is a massive concert goer. For the last 30 years, he's been going to these concerts, and he records them all. And now he's uploading them, these live concerts. Spike has thoughts on this.
I do, yeah.
Okay.
It's his magic and
something
worry
else
at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I love this guy.
We'll talk about
I'm
this.
worried
Stick
about
around.
him.
This hour is brought to you by Davis Law Group.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO News Radio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. April showers bring May. Oh, who am I kidding? We live in Western Washington. The only thing April showers bring are clogged and overflowing gutters, which can damage your home from your roof to your foundation. Fortunately, my friends at Valentine Roofing are here to come to your rescue. Right now, you can bundle and save 10% off your entire job when you add new gutters to any new roofing project. Plus, Valentine offers gutter guards, which help keep leaves and needles out for good, gives you an additional layer of defense against clogged and overflowing gutters. Having Valentine out at my house and seeing their professionalism and attention to detail, I'm not surprised they were awarded the 2025 Gold for Best Roofing Company and Silver for Best Gutter Company by the Seattle Times Best in the Pacific Northwest Awards. You can schedule your free roofing and gutter estimate today to bundle and save 10% by calling 206-ROOFING. That's 206-ROOFING. You deserve the best. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
Pet owners and parents know the struggle. Every time dogs or kids go outside, they track mud right back in. If you're tired of scrubbing floors, you need Muddy Mat, the anti-mud mat that cleans paws and shoes before they ruin your home. Only Muddy Mat features thousands of ultra-soft microfibers that are 5 times more absorbent than ordinary mats, instantly trapping dirt and water to protect your floors. Put it by every door, under pet bowls, in the kitchen for spills. It even makes a perfect bath mat. And it's 100% machine washable, so cleanup is effortless.
Since getting Muddy Mat, I don't worry about what my dog gets into. His paws are clean the second he steps off.
No more mopping. I love it. Thank you, Muddy Mat. Right now, get a free medium Muddy Mat with your order of 2 or more mats at buymuddymat.com. This offer is only available at buymuddymat.com. That's BUYMUDDYMAT.com. Don't wait. Get your free Muddy Mat today at buymuddymat.com.
Has your junk drawer taken over the whole house? Closets jammed, garage packed, pantry a mess? Don't just live with it. John Curley here for Closets by Design. Organize your closets, garages, laundry rooms, and home offices with Closets by Design. Everything is custom built for how you actually live. For a limited time, get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18-month 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
DUI? Felony charge? Trust Bradley Johnson Lawyers and 1-800-DUI-OA. Over 30 years serving the Pacific Northwest and hundreds of 5-star reviews. Every mistake has a solution at 1-800-DUI-OA.
1-800-DUI-OA!
The first few steps that I took in the morning were pretty painful.
This is Carlos.
I mean, I had been told by multiple orthopedic surgeons that there was no alternative for me.
That wasn't what he wanted to hear. You see, Carlos is an active guy.
I played basketball, and for 3 to 4 days after, my knees would just be so swollen. And now I can play basketball, and there is no swelling. There is no pain in the knees.
No swelling, no pain, because Carlos went to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I'm just happy to be able to be out there. And then knowing that tomorrow I am not going to suffer for this.
What do you say to your friends and family who are in pain?
I say, I had horrible knee pain, and stem cells really worked for me. You might want to go to Dr. Wagner, just get a consultation before you have surgery.
Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
I just can't dig it.
Dig what?
My water line.
Needs replacing?
And I don't want digging in my yard.
And maybe your driveway.
Can't dig it.
Don't dig it.
But how do you?
Apollo Plumbing replaces water lines without digging up your yard.
You're Dan.
From the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Apollo Plumbing.
Our trenchless technology replaces water and sewer lines.
Without digging up my yard?
2 little holes is all it takes.
Sounds better.
Faster, too.
And my yard?
Like we were never there.
Sounds spendy.
Not so much.
Oh?
In the end, about the same as that messy digging you don't want.
How do you figure?
Think about that landscaping you love.
Yeah?
Trenchless means you won't be paying to replace it.
Or my driveway.
We run everything underground.
Trenchless?
Do them all the time.
How about...
Easy payments?
Yeah.
With approved credit. Sure thing.
When can you get started?
We are the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Love that.
Apollo Plumbing, trenchless waterline replacement.
Sewer lines, too.
Can you dig that?
That I can.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn, understands the pressure that comes from owing money to the IRS. Don't let that pressure build. Call None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. This just in. Seattle police have cleared an open-air market near 3rd and Virginia in downtown Seattle. Police telling the Jason Rancho on Seattle Red they've not made any arrests, but they will if they can prove the goods there being sold were stolen. Seattle Red reports that open-air market had been around for at least 6 weeks before police broke it up. Now to the Lake City neighborhood, where KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay tells us police arrested 2 people in connection with the big drug bust.
SPD says last month officers found a 33-year-old woman and a 41-year-old man dealing drugs out of a black Dodge Charger along 33rd Avenue Northeast. Police seized more than $76,000 in cash, 324 grams of fentanyl, nearly 82 grams of meth, and 5 grams of crack cocaine. And detectives believe these suspects may also be tied to a recent armed carjacking. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Former Pierce County Sheriff's Office major is now behind bars after changing his plea to guilty in a DUI crash that hurt an 8-year-old boy, his mother and grandmother. Chad Dickerson was off duty when he crashed into an SUV last July. KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon says Dickerson was also allowed to leave the scene and refused a field sobriety test.
Right now, Pierce County Sheriff Keith Swank is promising change. An internal investigation revealed missteps by deputies when they responded to this crash. Those deputies either turned off or didn't activate their body cameras, violating Pierce County Sheriff policies.
In addition to 3 months in jail, Dickerson will also serve 12 months of community service. When it comes to housing, a new report finds millennials continue to be shut out of the markets. KIRO News Radio's John Repp with a closer look at the numbers and what they mean for our region.
Boomers still dominate the housing market, 42% of buyers, according to the National Association of Realtors, highlighting a growing generational gap. In Seattle, real estate agent Zach McDonald sees the same thing, but says families are getting creative to help younger first-time buyers.
Parents, grandparents, relatives are helping them with down payments, helping them purchase the house together.
Supply remains tight in the Seattle area, making it harder for younger buyers to break in. John Repp, KIRO News Radio.
At 2:34 now, we go to the real-time traffic desk. Here's Nate Connors.
All right, thanks, Aaron. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. It's beginning to get very busy across the region, and isolated showers are adding to some of our backups. Let's start you with our closure up in Marysville. Both directions of State Route 9 remain shut down near 84th Street Northeast due to an earlier semi-involved fatality. You'll need to find alternate routes. We still don't have an estimated time to reopen this. In Bellevue, South 405 and I-90, a collision partially blocks the off-ramp to westbound 90, so we've got one vehicle in the right lane, another on your left shoulder. South 405 is packed through Factoria. Bellevue to Renton still looking good, under 20 minutes. North 405 through Newcastle approaching 112th. Construction cone sticking out just a tad in the HOV lane. South 5 near Mid-Boeing Field, a collision was just moved out of your right lane like a minute ago, so it's over on the right shoulder now, and it caused a thick backup starting at I-90. North 5 bumper to bumper at the West Seattle Bridge past I-90, and again from just north of Mercer to the Ship Canal Bridge. 20 minutes gets you through downtown, and the First Avenue South Bridge is open for marine traffic. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. Now to your forecast. We're seeing some sun breaks, showers, some pockets of scattered thunderstorms as well, and highs today in the upper 40s. Right now, 47 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. We got a lot to talk about. This is a really interesting topic. And Spike, as a musician, somebody who does concerts and shows, I'm interested in your take on this. There's this guy. I actually think this is really fascinating because I really like history, and I really like being able to step into what something was like back then. Not just like pictures from the past.
Okay.
But in this case, you have this guy who was from Chicago.
Adam Jacobs is his name.
Adam Jacobs. He's 59 years old. And as a hobby, he would go to all these concerts. He loves music. He loves all these concerts. And so he would go and he would bring his tape recorder with him, and he would record these shows as they were happening. He'd record them live just for his own personal benefit and hold on to these. And over the years, he has gone to 10,000 live concerts. And in every single one, he has recorded them and keeps an archive at his house. Now, that's a lot of tapes.
Over 10,000 shows.
10,000
shows, yeah.
So somebody says to him, they say, hey, you should put that online and make that available for people. And he says, that's a pretty good idea. So he starts this internet archive where he's uploading all these shows. And now they're having to work with, all these people are working together because it's very time intensive to transcribe basically a tape. You have to record it digitally, and then you have to upload it as a file or whatever. That takes time. And so people are working to do that, and up right now, I think they've got like 2,000 or something of these currently
of his
uploaded.
catalog, his 10,000 shows.
Of his 10,000 shows. But the very first show that he ever recorded was in Chicago at this club called Dreamers, which I guess was like in the 1980s. It was open from 84 to 93 is what I saw.
It's the Nirvana show, right?
And there was a Nirvana show.
Yeah, 89.
That he shows up at 1989.
Yeah.
It's the first one he ever recorded on an audio tape. I'm going to play you a little bit of that, and this is what the show sounded like. Again, it's audio tape quality, digitized, so take that for what it's worth. but this was what the band started doing long before they became massively famous. I guess not too long.
But they were working at their chops. They were playing clubs.
They were playing clubs. Yeah. There was apparently just a couple of people at the show, and little did they know a band that would soon change the entire landscape of the music industry and put Seattle on a map in a way that it had not been before. I mean, like, you know, they had planes, but now they were like cool.
Well, they were part of the musical explosion that was Seattle in the grunge era.
So listen to this. Close your eyes and imagine with me that you are back in 1989 at this tiny little club in Chicago. There's maybe 5 or 6 other people with you.
I'm going to pour some beer on your feet so you get the real.
Pour some disgusting beer at my feet.
Stick to the floor a moment, yeah.
And as you're watching these guys, think to yourself, are they going to become, there we go, we've transported back in time. Would you think to yourself at the time, this is going to be the biggest band in the world in, 3 years?
Yeah, about 3 years. They ruled the planet. Absolutely.
All right, here we go. I can see it. They're going to be stars.
Stop.
This is Nirvana, 1989. Tiny little club in Chicago. Just a couple people. It's kind of a neat idea. I'm going to stop playing there because I haven't played beyond that. I don't know if they start cursing or anything.
That's safe. Thank you.
It is an interesting idea that you can kind of take this little time travel trip audibly.
Yeah.
And you can go back and you can, like, it would be so cool. We don't have the ability to do this because nobody was there who had a recording device.
Except for Aaron.
Well, I was going to say in 19, but like there's all these things that happen in history that wouldn't it be cool if you could go back and be there for, to listen to Gettysburg Address or whatever it might be. And now, going forward in the future, there's a camera on everything. I mean, there is a benefit to all these stupid cameras around. You are seeing everything.
Yeah.
But what do you think of this concert idea? He's basically taking all of these concerts and he's putting them on this publicly available website where anybody can go and listen to these.
Well, you called it. He's got a time machine that he's making available to all of us. Whenever you hear live recordings, some people prefer studio recordings. I get it. And if you get a nice live recording, you can count the number of classic live albums on one hand.
Sure.
It's still super produced. It's a great moment. But you're stepping into a club and hearing it as raw and as naked as you possibly can. And the list of artists he's got already up.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. The bands, he's got Nick Cave, he's got Dinosaur Jr., he's got REM, he's got, and this is only a fifth of the catalog that he's ready to share.
And these are all when they were just tiny little bands touring tiny little clubs.
Working it
coming
out.
Through Chicago.
Yeah, Dinosaur Jr., blah, blah, blah. Bjork. I saw Bjork for example, I saw Bjork when I first moved to town at I think it was the 5th Ave.
Is she the one with the duck dress?
Yes.
Okay.
This one was still with the sugar cubes, right? And I'm thinking, oh my God, I've never seen anything like that in my life. But it's a distant memory.
Yeah.
And this guy's got a tape of a show from that tour from Chicago that I can step back into, and I'm right now transported back to that moment in my life.
Does it take you back?
Oh, I haven't listened to it yet, but that's what it will do.
Yeah,
because I can hear Bjork records or Sugar Cube records.
Watch a YouTube video, but you're not there.
Right, I can hear an REM album that but at the time they were one of the biggest bands on the planet, not the biggest band on the planet. He's got them from a club in Chicago. Back when they were working it out, when they were trying. You hear versions with unfinished lyrics, early renditions of songs. When they're just still finding their own sound.
That's the cool part, especially if I were like a young aspiring musician, to go back and to be able to get a real firsthand account. It takes time to become good at anything. If you want to be a professional musician, it doesn't happen overnight.
No. The Beatles were the best band in the world, but for 10,000 hours they played the Cavern Club and figured it out.
Yes. Yeah, by the way, that Beatles documentary, the latest one that they've put out now, I think it's 5 episodes or 4 episodes on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Have you watched it yet?
Yes. Oh, religiously.
It's oh my gosh, it's so good.
Well, because that shows how they'd rehearse a song. They take an idea of a song and work through it as a band live and try different things. And was there something in the way attracts me like a John say, just say cauliflower until you come over the final verse. Attracts me like a cauliflower. Eventually, it's no other lover.
Yeah,
but it's that work in progress. It's that
which
behind
kind
the
of
scenes.
Is like cauliflower.
Yeah,
it's like inspiration.
That's how magic was made. It took blood, sweat, and tears. No pun intended. There's no blood, sweat, and tears in this catalog. But I'm fascinated that he has the ability to put these out for public consumption, that there's not banned and label pushback.
That's my other question.
Right. And we'll see if that ends up being the case.
It's like Universal Music Group step in and say, like, hey, really cool that you did this, but you can't play any of our artists that we own the rights to on your little website.
Because entertainment that this guy's providing is entertainment they're not buying from their artist or from their label.
Yes.
Right? That's it. It's an attention and an eyeball economy. And this guy's going to be cutting in with some amazing. Nobody else has got this stuff. That's the other beauty. Nobody else has this.
Yeah. And while it's still available, if you go to Internet Archive, if you go to archive.org and you just look up, what's his name? Adam Jacobs.
I'm sorry. AADAM. Adam Jacobs.
Yeah.
2 A's. 3 A's.
AJC Project. And you can check out these bands. Do a little time traveling. It's pretty
Cardigans
cool.
live. REM live.
It's amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Good for him. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Your text messages, all of that. Stick around. Be right back.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan. Presented by Carter Subaru.
Sound Transit is bleeding cash. $34 billion in the hole to try to expand light rail. You know what might fix that? Maybe making people pay for the service. Sound Transit's looking at turnstiles. What do you think? We'll talk about it on Seattle's Morning News coming up Thursday morning.
Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Considering the option of assisted living for a parent or loved one can be the hardest decision you ever have to make, but it doesn't have to be. Here's what I wish someone had told me sooner. Aegis Living and aegisliving.com/spike. Take a look, go to the website and book a visit. If it's a time in your life where if you're in the sandwich generation like me, caring for both kids and parents, visit an Aegis Living near you. There's many around the Puget Sound area. aegisliving.com/spike. Schedule a visit. We're talking about world-class amenities, chef-prepared meals. It's a genuine community that cares about your loved ones and their entire family. aegisliving.com/spike. When you visit, you will say, this must be the place, because it is. aegisliving.com/spike.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home in Washington, recent headlines might concern you. Talk of pocket listings or private networks where only certain consumers see certain properties are all over the media. Good news. The legislature recently passed a bill to protect you in your transaction. No secret deals, all listings available for everyone to see, not just an exclusive club of insiders. This means more competition, better offers, and fair access for all consumers. Learn more at warealtor.org, sponsored by Washington Realtors.
Spring is a season homeowners start improving their homes. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. If your home needs roofing, siding, new windows, gutters, or decking, our team can take care of it all. For a limited time, save up to $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows project. Planning multiple upgrades? Combine your projects and save even more. Or with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. You can start your project now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avastin-capted pagel, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
April showers bring May flood. Oh, who am I kidding? We live in Western Washington. The only thing April showers bring are clogged and overflowing gutters, which can damage your home from your roof to your foundation. Hey, this is Jake Skorheim, and my friends at Valentine Roofing are ready to come to your rescue. Right now, you can bundle and save 10% off your entire job when you add new gutters to any new roofing project. Plus, Valentine also offers gutter guards to help keep leaves and needles out for good, giving you an additional layer of defense against clogged and overflowing gutters. Having Valentine out at my house and seeing their professionalism and attention to detail, it's no surprise Valentine Roofing was awarded the 2025 Gold for Best Roofing Company and Silver for Best Gutter Company by the Seattle Times Best in the Pacific Northwest Awards. You deserve the best too, so schedule your free roofing and gutter estimate today to bundle and save 10%. Just call 206-ROOFING. That's 206-ROOFING. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
From posters and presentations to labels and loyalty cards, Staples has all the print to boost your brand. Shop now in store and online. Staples, that was easy.
Right now, get a free furnace with the purchase of a premium heat pump and air cleaning package at CM Heating. Start today with an always free estimate. There's no beating CM Heating for heating, cooling, plumbing, or electrical. Go to cmheating.com.
Say goodbye to clogged gutters and climbing ladders. With K-Guard by Guardian, leaves stay out, water flows freely, and your home stays protected year-round. Enjoy true peace of mind, no maintenance and no rust. Choose from a variety of colors to match your home's look and boost your curb appeal. Ready for hassle-free gutters? Protect what matters most with Guardian, the original make your roof last company. Visit guardianroofing.com to learn more.
All right, welcome back to the show. We got a bunch of text messages to get to. Thank you guys so much for participating in that. Like I said yesterday, we couldn't do any of this without you guys. We really appreciate it. We've had great response and good ratings for the show, and that's all thanks to you guys listening. So thank you very much. Keep it going. All right, Mike, start us off on these text messages.
All right, let's kick it off on Seattle's cleanup efforts ahead of the World Cup. Ed in Kent writes, please revisit the cleanup situation in 6 months.
Would this be in the aftermath of the World Cup? Is that what he's talking about?
He's talking about, does the city have a... Well, I bragged, or at least I took some comfort in the fact that this cleanup, which produced 5.3 million pounds of garbage and 661,000 hypodermic needles, that this was the result of a year's worth of effort for programs that are put in place. Ed's point is, in 6 months, will these programs work, continue to work to keep the city clean, or after the World Cup leaves, does stuff just hit the ground again?
That's a good question.
Yeah, Fernando in Seattle says, so we're talking about the number of people who were treated for fentanyl overdoses in Seattle. So does that mean that in Seattle we save the most people from overdose? In Seattle we don't let people die?
It's actually not true. We just have a lot of people showing up at hospitals. We also have one of the highest rates of people dying.
Of people dying. Okay, that was Fernando's question.
But if we could stop people from getting all this fentanyl, that would be very helpful.
Here.
Obviously, it's a horrible, horrible drug.
Yep.
On Bob Ferguson's Millionaire's Tax, John Snohomish says, I would love to hear why they need 300 people to implement this plan to tax a handful of millionaires. That is a good question. Time will tell. And I don't think they intend to keep it at millionaires, but again, time will tell.
You think you're on to something.
Time will tell.
Kirk in Mount Vernon says, and that's why they're raising price, because they want you to pay for their infrastructure. Not sure there's a connection I'm missing.
Well, thank you, Kirk, for the text, nonetheless.
From the 253, higher gas tax and 48th and road quality. All of our problems are driven by bad governance.
Keep taking us into a ditch.
253. Let's see here. 206 says, Redmond is building all over the place. We have so many 8-story buildings going in. Old Town Redmond is no more.
Well, that's true. Sign of the times. There are some parts
all
of
the high
rises in Redmond. Yeah. And that's true everywhere.
Yeah.
There are city streets here in Seattle and neighborhoods where the sun never hits them. I mean, they're canyons now. Let's see, 206, we did that one. Troy in 206. Not enough housing? You're off your rocker. Call any apartment in the city and they're almost 50% vacant. The building I live in is 2 years old and still well over half vacant. There is enough housing. Are they unaffordable?
The apartments?
Yeah, because you see, let's look into that stat. Half though.
I'm taking Troy's word for it. I'm not calling him a liar.
Let's look into that.
Let's see here. John in Gig Harbor says the biggest problem I see is they created this budget emergency. They need to fix it by actually cutting taxes. I agree with you there, John.
All right, this from Steve-O. The income tax is one more reason for me to move out of Washington, and I don't make $200K, but I'm a reddish-purple person.
I hope Steve-O doesn't leave. I hope it doesn't come to people leaving. That would be a shame. It's a great state. It's beautiful, especially for people who've lived their whole lives here. You've got family here. It would just be nice if they were a little more open to some different ideas. On the cost of raising kids, speaking of families here, Nick in Snowco says, well, my child support over 12 years is $133,000 plus what I pay myself. That's a lot of money. Yeah, absolutely.
That's a quarter of the child support number. So he can make that math. You figure it's between now and the 18th birthday, what he pins per month, he can come up with a number.
Sure.
Congratulations, you paid yourself.
Yeah, Bobby in Tacoma says, my daughter costs us about 70% more than our son.
That makes sense.
Well, okay. Well, until your son starts playing organized sports.
Well, that's also very pricey.
Yeah, because I mean, there's no cheap way out if you want a great kid.
Doug in Mount Vernon says, Captain Obvious, unmotivated swimmers show up to the finish line too late.
That was about the marijuana users having low motility. And he's not wrong about that. On grocery stores, 206 says, how about discounting items that are purchased with SNAP cards?
Well, there is already discounted items. Like every time you go to the grocery store, there's the options where it says, are you paying with your card? And if you're paying with a card.
Member. Club member pricing. Yeah.
Well,
right?
At the bottom of your receipt, it says on the little screen, there'll be a version that you pay or a version that you pay if you're paying with benefits. And it's always like way cheaper if you're paying with benefits.
Like a SNAP benefit, EBT benefit?
Yeah, every time I go to Safeway, it shows what the price would be if you were paying with SNAP benefits. And I'm always like, man, that's a good deal.
All right, so I want to read this one because the texting audience was pretty evenly split on whether you're Team Jake or you're Team Spike in terms of the grocery stores. This one from the 360, you're both wrong. With enough backing, the store will succeed. In doing so, others will close, forcing more users into the state store.
Let me ask you a question, though. Long term.
Sure.
Let's say that this is very successful and they decide they want to spread this model out. Is that sustainable? If you're no longer collecting taxes, most of the money in New York City that they make is from property taxes.
Yeah.
From business in New York City, the sales tax that they collect on these different stores, which they are not collecting on the state stores.
Right.
The sales tax they're collecting is billions and billions of dollars into New York's budget. So is it that's just a question I'll leave you with.
Sure. I think if it's a really limited scope of these state-sponsored stores, it's going to survive.
We will see. All right, John Curley's coming up next. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
The John Curley Show.
If by like the 15th of October rolls around and suddenly it's a bolt of lightning and I croak out right there, I'm fine.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
My dream of growing a giant pumpkin is just a couple of months away. I know somebody who knows somebody who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows someone who got me the seed, the 1,500-pounder, baby. It's in a secret location. I don't want to say where it is.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
John is a national champion ping pong player.
My greatest claim to fame is the actor who portrayed the Chinese national champion that played Forrest Gump. I played him in a national tournament and I actually beat him.
Competing at that level takes precision and healthy shoulders. But after years of wear and tear, he was dealing with a serious shoulder injury.
I had a slap tear. Success rate for the surgery was only about 15%.
Instead of surgery, he chose to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy, the most experience in the Northwest with over 20,000 stem cell procedures.
The next day, I was pretty much 100%. I was pain-free. I had problems with my shoulder for 20 or 30 years.
And have you been able to compete again?
I won a national title 6 months after the procedure. My shoulder's like I'm an 18-year-old.
So whether it's a hip like I had, a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you, guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not